going live from Streamlabs OBS, I click it and then it says something went wrong. I then do it again, and it seems fine. It's really weird. Okay, so
you have to make like a new stream or something now?
No, it's nothing like that. I literally just kind of redo it but we should be live. So Kyle, do you want to carry out the work, dear sir?
Everyone, welcome to another wonderful week of the ZombSquad Podcast, episode number 23. We have today our two co-hosts, Jack and Spike.
Yo, what's up? Happy to be here.
I know you don't have to you don't have to check your monitors. You don't have to check your TV screens or your mobile app. This is Freddie Mercury actually. This is kind of taking over, But no, and we have our very, very special guest. I mean, he needs no introduction. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know him from ZWC too. You know him from the Brooklyn Bombers. You know this man. Give it up for Turbo.
Woo!
Hello. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you. Turbo.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic to have you.
It's great to have. So for the lovely people that may know you or maybe they don't know you, just give a little intro for yourself.
Okay. Well, hello. Yeah, that introduction pretty much summed it up good. I pretty much paved way. I entered the public eye during ZWC 2 when I played and competed in ZWI. I won the content creator portion of it. I won the trip to LA. I was competing in ZWI. My skills showed and I lost. So and then MC Sport Talk and Jose said to me, "Hey, we enjoyed you doing the interviews in the middle of the event. Do you want to be the sideline reporter for ZWC2?" So that pretty much started the snowball for me, and pretty much I'm pretty much Zombies YouTuber that likes to do things very outside the box and very out of the ordinary of Zombies content. Try to bring the funny aspect back and things, not to make everything very serious within Zombies, which it always is. And yeah, I have a podcast with my co-host Jack the Bus, and I'm pretty much just your ordinary at the public outside looking in. I'm your ordinary crazy Zombies YouTuber, pretty much.
Well, that is great, man. I mean, I caught you when you were at ZWC too, so
yeah. And I asked you yesterday because I didn't know. I was confused myself.
Yeah. You thought you'd actually met me off a stream with Reed, but
yes.
No, I actually caught you on ZWC2 on the live stream and thought this guy's great. So like I said, if you don't know Turbo, you're gonna know him after the day. But Jack and Spike, y'all have any things to say for Turbo?
Just all I'm gonna say, guys, is that the podcast Turbo hosts is It Is What It Is podcast. If you're unfamiliar with it, they really branch out on subjects. Okay, they're not just a basic Zombies podcast. They literally branch out on everything. All episodes are on Turbo's channel. His channel is linked in the description below, so be sure to go subscribe to him. Go check the podcast out. He's a super cool dude. We're really happy to have him on.
Happy to be here, guys. I asked you before. I was like, when was the last time I was on the show? Because I was on very early, like you said. I forgot.
It's like I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking either episode 5 or 6. Around that time. Like, you were like really early days. You were one of the first guests I think we did have on.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you were actually on an episode with another guest as well, and that was sadly the day the Spike couldn't make it. So this is
yes. I remember there's 2 guests on the same day. Yes,
you remember. I remember things going completely off the rails, lasting over 2 hours.
If I'm on a podcast, that's how it's gonna go. I'm pretty sure this podcast, at the end of it, it's gonna have probably Kyle on the floor sweating. It's gonna have you trying to find out where your YouTube passwords are. It's gonna get crazy.
It's gonna get crazy. But at the time, we were like we were a very small podcast. Like at the time, we were still.
That's how everyone starts out. That's how it all starts.
No, that's true. But like I look at where we are now, and all these different people that we've had on. I'm really happy that how far this podcast has come, and it can only go up from here. And that's what I've always said about it. And having people like you on, it's it defines it a bit as well. 'Cause it just proves that we can get the bigger names on if you just ask them.
I mean, what you call it? Like I said, you always start somewhere. And okay, I'm trying to shut this fucking phone off. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this off. My bad. I'm sorry. There you go. That's podcast etiquette 101, and I completely I forgot about it. I'm sorry, but like you said, I'm very happy to be here. And also, by the way, what you call it? I don't think of myself as like the like a high upper guest, but thank you. It means a lot.
Well, you are, because like you look at your growth on, and we will actually talk about that on the show. But your growth on YouTube, you've skyrocketed in terms of subscribers. Like when I first got introduced to your channel, you were around the 3K mark, I believe, and now you're closing in on, what is it, 25K?
Almost 24. Yeah,
24K. That's nuts, dude. Massive congrats on that. That's fantastic.
You, man. It's really been crazy. It's been crazy. I mean, since the I gotta say, it's pretty much. I say it's literally when the ball dropped, turning to 2020. Even though how crazy 2020 ended up for the world, and how crazy just it is in general. Crazy enough just for me personally and my channel and my career. It's been so crazy, because the people you meet and the people you work with. Like I remember the beginning of 2020. I just started, actually. I just got I just started getting a BO3 Custom Zombies. Just got BO3 on PC. Was so new to the the world of PC Custom Zombies. Getting trolled of not playing PC and keyboard and mouse. What you call it? Yeah, I'm a controller guy. I'm PC when I play Custom Zombies. And I remember Tim Hansen used to ask me to play a couple of games of Zombies, and to be very honest with you, I really didn't have a clue of what type of content Tim Hansen made in the beginning of 2020. So I was like, I know he's a Zombies YouTuber, and I know he's really popping up as well. I was like, but I guess we're gonna just play. I don't know what kind of zombies. And then, long story short, we played. He made a couple of videos that got a lot of traction. People from his channel were like, "Who the fuck is this crazy kid?" And they came over. The cross pollination of collaborations, the power of collaborations, and I just guess a lot of people just saw the craziness in me and the spark or something, and that just working with Tim Hansen and Crazy Rabbit and Lex and that whole Last Man Standing series really just was like my quote unquote first little big break for me, and it was really crazy. And I can't like yesterday I said at the end of the stream, I said I still can't believe it. I still don't know how the hell things are going this well, and it's insane. It's really crazy, because like you said, when I first came on your podcast, I was like at that level where 3K, where I was starting to stream to people, and it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, it sounds.
Don't you worry, you sexy bastard in chat. We're gonna get to that that Mr. Tim and Lex and Crazy Rabbit and the Tim privilege and the
oh god, yeah. Oh no.
Privilege?
We'll get into
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the juicy stuff.
Okay.
I still feel bad for you for that sniper round you guys did in season 1.
Oh, don't remind me. You see how to bring it up. You gotta bring it up. That's it. No, I don't like it. That I still remember to this day. I was sitting in my chair like that, because don't forget, for season 1, MJPW made the map, so, and they were doing it like actual round based. If you guys don't realize, season 2 now, the zombies keep coming at you. Emox for some reason likes that style where the zombies keep coming, and it kind of makes it more challenging, as it is since the beginning of season 2. Yeah. And now don't forget, I died sniper video round 2. I died, and so now I'm sitting there through 30 rounds they're playing, so I'm sitting through 40 minutes. I'm like this for 40 minutes, and I'm still depressed. But yeah, that was a pain.
Well, hey, at least this time in season 2, if Tim needs to use the bathroom really bad, no bathroom breaks.
That's it. No, we don't give it to him no more. That's it. Done. That's it. He's a dad now. He's a big boy. No more bathroom breaks. No, that's it. No.
He's gonna learn to be a camel.
That's it. Done.
Done. Just quickly, Carl, before you get into the guest questions,
yeah.
Turbo, your camera is it pixelated on your end?
Yeah.
It really isn't, but I have the same problem with Jack the Bus when I do podcasts all the fucking time. Jack the Bus always comes out pixely, and I'm like, Jack, why is it? And he goes, no, you're like that for me on my end. I'm like, oh my god. Okay. So it is something with Discord's video chat. It's nothing with you guys.
Not to worry, not to
worry. For me, all you guys are fine. For some reason, let me see. What you call it? Yeah, like say I see the preview. Yeah, same thing with Jack the Bus. Don't know why.
No, that's fine.
It's not a Zombies podcast. So something goes wrong.
If as the stream goes on, it may, because that same thing with Jack the Bus, it clears itself out as the stream goes on.
Okay, so that's not to worry. That's not to worry. That's just so I
as long as you hear my beautiful voice,
that's all that matters.
You get the info either way.
Okay, right now, obviously, guys, I'm not hosting this episode, so Kyle is, and so now I'm going to step back. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna vibe.
Passing the reins.
I'm gonna privately message Spike down there. We're just gonna have our own little conversation. But Kyle, I'd give the reins to you, my dude.
All right, so Turbo, here's our first guest question for you.
Oh boy,
it's a juicy one. What color underwear are you wearing right now?
Oh boy. Can I be completely honest with you? I don't have underwear on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. I really don't.
He's going commando, dude.
I go to sleep free balling. I swear to God, I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. I'm wearing shorts, but I'm wearing underwear. There you go. You see that? I'm telling you, that's how I roll. I believe I even said it on the podcast, and Jack don't believe me. He goes, dude. I'm like, no. I go free ball, man.
No.
I'm wearing pants. Don't get me. I'm not saying that. I'm wearing pants. But yeah, no, yeah.
So do we just confirm on this podcast Turbo sleeps in the nude?
No, not in the nude. I let the boys breathe. If you get that drifty. Now I let the boys breathe.
Don't believe him.
Yeah.
All right, so just shorts.
That's it.
Oh man. Okay, but seriously, what's your most memorable zombie moment?
Zombie moment. So I'm guessing that's just like in-game zombies. I'm guessing just like playing. Guessing.
Well, I mean, it could be anything from playing to events, to like just anything zombie related.
Well, playing at ZWI was a crazy event. Like playing, I never really played at a competitive gaming, but like you always watch those MLG events when they're at the studios and you're sitting down there with all the lights and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was intimidating at first. You get there and. And also at that time a shock factor because I thought me going in there actually probably before if you and me met during our 3K subs, that was probably after ZWC2 because I went ZWC2 at like 2,000 subs and I remember going there thinking no one's gonna know me. I'm gonna be like that little kid vibe where they're just gonna like ignore the little kid type of thing. I go there. People know me, and people like because those EWI videos from only those videos they know me from, but they still knew me. So I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. So that shock factor, and also playing zombies in that like event and ZWI, just being there with all the YouTubers and actually playing with them against them. It was that was one of my best zombies experiences. Personally though, just like playing BO2 zombies for the first time because that was my first game, BO2, and playing BO2 zombies for the first time, it will always have a big like it will always sit in my head for the rest of my life because coming home at the junior high school, hopping on town, not giving a hell about the lava, and just going for rounds and rounds and rounds, and then replaying it. You can go to round 40 with your friends and then say you want to go on transit now. You didn't care. So those memories really always stand out.
I was gonna say, Turbo. Now that the ZWC2 event, was that your first event that you'd ever been to, like a major event?
First event I ever went to for gaming ever. I remember I would have went to E3 one year, but I never went. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'll probably just go to the next year. But then I never went. It was like a thing I just fell off on. But then, that was my first event I ever went to, and it was crazy.
that had to be pretty surreal then for you at that moment, because
Oh yeah.
if you're thinking about it, you were basically, I mean, E for C's. I mean, you would have been a fan and spectating, right?
Yeah.
Right, like me and most
I
other
was
people.
I was watching ZWC 1 at home the first year for I was watching that. It's so crazy. I remember watching it at home and seeing all of it, and now being the one in the driver's seat. I'm like, it was so surreal. And that pretty much was the first opportunity, like like the first door open, and I took it. I like the first opportunity, and I took it. So that was the first big, like, hey, like, this is an opportunity, you got to take it type of moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just quickly, Carl, before you get into the next question.
Oh,
Bro, I gotta say, dude, right?
Yeah.
So I came across you like as you were at the 3K mark, right? But
Yeah.
the first time I actually knew about you was actually during E for C 2016.
Because of my
the videos on Twitter and Reed is just losing his, like, he's absolutely laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
Like you were honestly, you were like his own little private comedian, and he absolutely loved
pretty
it.
much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that was my first, like, to be very honest with you, those days and that type of time period were the days where no one, like, I tell you, no one, like 0 people knew me.
Mhm.
And I was just speaking out loud to random people. And I remember just saying to myself, how, and actually, no, I'm sorry, doing those videos for E4C, only one person ever shouted me out in a chat on a live stream was Rattles27. So that's why I did those videos, because I was like, you know what? I want to make those Twitter videos. If he shouted me out in a chat, then maybe he can see, if I add him on Twitter, he'll see that I did something funny. He showed it on his stream, and that just slowly, like there are so many, and I can probably say that for everybody here. You all know those little, like, memento moments that you always keep, and like those are so important for your, the road you go down, because you always have those, those memories. And it's so crazy, because I remember that night going to bed feeling like I achieved something. I was like, I just, like, multiple videos too he retweeted. Like, it was for each map I did. I yelled out my window when they won Shadows. Then I yelled out for Zetsubo. I took out my katana for Zetsubo. Those are just crazy moments. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I can't believe you. That was the first ever sighting of me.
Yeah, it was, and it like they were fun little videos, and I absolutely loved them. They really made me laugh. But also it must be weird. It must be interesting coming from your perspective, because you're a guy who has watched Zombroz a lot, and then to then being invited as a guest on Zombroz several times. Yeah, like that must have been an experience as well.
I'm just gonna tell a quick story about Zombies. It just happened. Just what you said, how surreal it is. I remember, it was easily 2 weeks ago. My sister asked me, "Hey, we're going to our aunt's house with my nephew, the family. We're just gonna go in the pool and stuff like that. Do you want to come?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Day out, whatever. Of course, no problem." I was getting ready. Right when I was getting ready, when I was on just the week I was on, when the second to last episode, last time I was on, Reed DMs me. He goes, "Hey, do you want to be the second to last guest on Zombroz?" And I was like, I really want to go in the pool and blah, 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 but I can't pass this up. I can't, because this is like that Zombroz podcast was the podcast that inspired me to do my own. So I can never, ever forget that. So I have to fulfill that. So I said to my sister, Dominique, I was like, Dominique, I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Don't pick me up." I said, "Just go." I said, because I said, I cannot pass this up. And I will always respect Reed, because he kind of, initially gave me the first push on social media to give me that first traction. Just being a friend also. Reed, just awesome guy. And I will always remember Zombroz. So yeah, it was being on, I believe I was on 4 times, I believe, Zombroz. And it's being on, and from that time span, I was on the first time right after I came back from ZWC2, back from LA. I was on like that second week back home, and then just like promoting ZWL, the online tournament, then just being on there to be on there, then the last episode, second to last episode. So it was, yeah, I mean, it's so sad that they're, well, Reed's going a different path in his life and it's over. However, it will always be a podcast that I always remember. And I believe they're still on iTunes, and I believe the playlist maybe still be up there. I think he said so. It'll always be a memorable moments always being on that show.
I will. That's so nice to hear.
I told my mom. I remember telling my mom this every time I would go on the show. I was like, Mom, do you understand? This is like my Conan O'Brien. Do you understand? Like, this is my late night show I'm going on. Like, pretty much the big Zombies community, they all hear what goes on in the podcast every week, no matter what Reed or John wants to say. Whenever they think they have a bad week, it doesn't matter. Every word that gets out on Zombroz, if something big was talked about within the Zombies community, if you're following the right people and you're always in the conversations, you're always hearing what was talked about on that podcast. So it's really, really, really a podcast that I will always remember, of course, for being on.
Yeah,
it was always fun.
That's brilliant. And really keeping it on Zombroz just real quick too. I mean, it just between me and Jack, I mean, it's very funny how much I know, at least for Reed as well as John, but both of their channels as well as Zombroz really have connected a lot of different people. Like, you'll end up saying I know, I found a lot of commonalities between us. I mean, we love Zombroz. We love Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yes.
I was just actually watching Joe Rogan this morning. I mean, I love just the idea. That's why when Jack asked me to come on the podcast, I was like, dude, this is so great, because this is it's so nice to come into an open forum, have open ideas, different people, different viewpoints. I'm an open-minded guy. But then, like I said, like that. And then just like how Jack and I became friends. We became friends because of a tweet. Literally sent out some tweet just like you, because before you, I started tweeting you. I would always tweet at John and Reed, messing with them. I would take a clip from that day. I literally, when I take clips from your show, I go on my TV, I pull it up on the TV on the Xbox. I have the phone. I record it. I put it in there. I think I have it already in my head. This is what I'm going to say. Let's see what they do. And I think Reed or John was probably one of the first ones that I was like, oh my God, I actually got a YouTuber actually recognize me. You know what I'm saying? That's why the first the second episode you came on that I put in topic time, hey Turbo, you sexy bastard. That's the first time you would have ever known me. Just from me, I mean, it's just, I mean, those little moments though, even with that, I mean, it's so cool, Yeah,
like I said, those little mementos you always remember, and it's always going to be cool to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously then, all three of us have that in common, that we have been on Zombroz. We've had that experience, which is, it's something else.
Well, how was it when you were on? So when you thought being on, and then watching it, being on the other side, how different was it for you? How weird was the feeling?
Are you asking me or Carl?
Whoever was on.
Oh, we both were.
Both you guys. Yeah.
Go on, Carl. You go first.
Dude, I didn't even deserve the episode I got, mainly because
take it, Kyle. Just take it.
Literally I was like, oh my God, John hadn't sent me anything hey, we're about to go, come in, whatever. And I have a Mac, so this is when I have nothing, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. I'd only gotten Discord. I didn't even know what Discord was until Zombroz. Until I subscribed to their Patreon. I was the Ultimate member. But so he finally, was like, hey, join the call. So I joined the call on the Mac. There was problems. I couldn't get the video to work and whatnot. But John at the last second said, yeah, we're trying to find someone. The other guy has not responded. He's not going to make it. What ends up happening is I'm the only one on that show. So I get a show with them by myself.
Wow.
I'm thinking, wow, this is just a guest episode.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
I know. That was kind of the running thing. Jack's like, you fucking lucky bastard.
You are a lucky bastard. Let's be real.
I know, but I was like, and so ultimately I got him. Reed's like, well, just get on your phone. I'm like, well, duh. But yeah, it was just like I don't know why. I even tell Jack this, like the whole time. I never felt nervous though. It was really weird.
Yeah, because it's weird because you always watch and you know the rhythm of the show. You know how they always conversate.
And I guess too, being a guest, I wasn't very vocal. I mean, I would allow them to ask me before I would just interject because I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just not too many times, especially as a guest. I mean, you're overwhelmed by just, dude, this is fucking Zombroz. This is the biggest podcast. I mean, the only other podcast that stacked up to Zombroz is yours. I mean,
I mean, realistically, I mean, I don't. First of all, thank you, but I mean, I always say because they say it. I say it thankfully because they say it too, and I'm always crazy when they say it. Like Johnny J even said on like the couple last episodes, he said if I can pass on the rhetorical torch to some other podcast, it would be Turbos, and I was like, oh my god. I was like that just that's like if you really love Derek Jeter as a baseball fan and you go end up being a Yankee player as a rookie and Derek Jeter kind of gives you that pat on the back like now it's your turn, like, well, huh? Like what? Like that's crazy. But that was so nice, and I will never forget that. And I was like, oh my god, because you start the podcast inspired by them, and then that for them to say like first to recognize you because when of course we first started they didn't even know me or the podcast, and then to finally know the podcast and know me, it's just like one of those moments when you put your head down, you're like, how did this all happen, like ugh.
But I still say it, man. Reed and John were like the ultimate guests. I've told Jack this, like, I mean, or I guess host and co-host. I mean, dude, they perfectly ran that show and just had great, just funny interactions. Like they were the married couple. But then
perfectly put. They were the married couple.
I found you. I didn't start immediately watching your channel until I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, this guy has a podcast? So I'm like, I didn't even know who Jack the Bus was. So I started watching your podcast, listening to Overnight, and I'm thinking like, dude, like these guys are great. Like you and Jack have the same thing, but not in the same way as Reed and John, but they're
the married couple. They're the married couple. Me and Jack are like the dating couple. Like we're still messing around. We're still messing with each other. The married couple, like Reed's still, like looking over the mortgage payments, the bills, the checks. Johnny J's just the one going out to work. He's like, I'm at the bar. I'll be home soon. Like type of guy.
But it's like, honestly, like if Reed had never, and he in one episode I was listening to recently said about how he got John on. I mean, you think about it, if he never got Johnny J, there never would have been a Reed and Johnny J. And Zombroz, I don't think. I mean, it still would have been great, but it would have been as great.
It would have been. It was originally like Reed and MC Sports Talk, and when MC Sports Talk started to like dissolve and fade away from the scene, and Johnny J, and then and then it actually became a trio for a long time. So Johnny J was on and MC was on. So so it wouldn't have been. So Reed would have probably had ended it probably sooner than it would have been now. Yeah.
No, like I said, even with your podcast, you and Jack, I mean, dude, there's no two better pair. I mean, like, I just couldn't see.
It was all out of luck. Like it really was. Like it really wasn't my. Honestly, swear to God, and saying this for someone who doesn't know me and Jack's relationship or like the actual, like the real feeling of the story. It all happened like on accident. I had no intention of asking Jack to be a co-host. I swear to God, like Jack. We had him on as a guest first, and I said this on our 100th episode. I told Jack, I was like, "Hey, do you want to be on the our podcast?" I believe it was episode 3. And Jack was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be on." He checked me out. At the time, I didn't know why he wanted to. At the time, I swear to God, I didn't know why he accepted. I just thought I just thought he would want to be on a podcast because it was cool. See, just to say I was on a podcast. But then he as he told me later on, he was like, "No, I watched your videos," and I was like, "This kid has a good personality. I want to be on his show." So he came on the show as a guest, and then I think during my regular messages I sent to all my guests, even to this day, like, "Thank you for coming on the show, blah blah blah. It was awesome having you on. Have you on again." He later on responded saying, "Also, by the way," because he probably saw we were just starting out, so it wouldn't be a big deal. "Hey, by the way, would you want, if you're ever looking for a co-host, a permanent co-host, I'm open to do it." And to me at the time, Jack the Bus, to me, and this puts into perspective of where I was at the time, Jack was streaming to 20 people. To me, that was, how do I get to that moment?
Yeah. Yes. I know that
and
feeling.
you know what? Still to this day, if you're a channel like right now, I believe I just saw we had 22 people watching this podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a great feeling. However, for a person with 5 people watching your streams, 2 people, you're like, okay, how do we get this ball rolling? How do we start something? And to me, Jack was that person. So to have him on the show, and of course his fans cross-pollinating the collabs do, it was just it was a perfect mix. And it honestly, I think that's what makes a great podcast happen, is that randomness and your co-host not being the same as you, like not having everything in common. That's why a lot of podcasts with best friends don't work out. Like I a ton of times I try to start a podcast with my own friends. They never want to do it. They'll never have the consistency to do it more than fucking 5 weeks. Who's gonna disband? Who's gonna not want to do it? Blah, 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 blah. So having that, one, him being in Texas, and and 2, us not being friends and actually having podcasts where we learn about each other every podcast episode, I think it makes it for the best. And it was on randomness. It was by accident. So it's crazy.
Now, Jack, I'll let you, if you want to talk about your time on Zombroz. I didn't want to totally
Yeah.
I will, but before
Spike, he doesn't care about your time on Zombroz.
mind you though, that's actually cleared the camera up.
No way.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's good. That's cleared the camera up.
Look at my epidermis.
Anyway,
All right.
there
you go.
before I talk about Zombroz, I have to admit, right? Okay, Tobo, when I messaged you about like doing a fan episode of your podcast, and I actually managed to come on, that was, I absolutely loved every single second of that. I just wish I could have been louder, if I'm being truthfully honest.
I swear to God to you, I think those episodes were like the first times we were ever going live, I think. So wow. I don't deny the fact that it was the audio was probably janky on those episodes.
It wasn't even that. It was more the fact that it was like, because at the time we actually recorded the episode. You were actually recording. You hadn't gone live yet. You were
even worse probably, because I was having to edit those podcast episodes.
And
damn,
like
then that was an early podcast probably then.
But it was like but the time you were recording, it was gone 11 o'clock my time, 11 p.m. and like everyone in my house is like, so I had to be like really quiet.
So
I had to be really quiet.
Oh jeez. So there was probably no guest on the show then. Probably people were like, who are they talking to?
And it was really gutting because like I absolutely loved it. I did absolutely love it. I just wish I could have been louder, and like because I remember it was either you or Jack. You were asking, so like could you be like a little bit more lively? And I, like in my head I'm thinking I want to, but if I do, I'm gonna get yelled at, and so I don't want to do it.
That's the worst, Todd. That's the worst feelings when you know your whole house is asleep and you're like, I gotta record this thing. I can't do it because I'm gonna get yelled at. Oh, plenty of times I heard this. How many times are that knocking the door and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get yelled at.
I've had it too many times. I've had it too many times, but it's actually calmed down a bit now, if to say the least. But in terms of Zombroz, I think I'll tell you, I know what Spike's doing. Yeah, okay, that's better.
There he is.
Yeah, I forgot he can't join live.
Did it make my camera fuzzy again? Let's see if that happened.
Yep.
It actually has happened. That's really weird.
Oh no.
Anyways, never mind.
This keeps fucking crashing. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Zombroz. It was definitely interesting to go from being a viewer to actually being on the show. But honestly, Reed and John, they're like the Chuckle Brothers. They literally they bounce off of each other. It's hilarious. And like what you were saying, Kyle, about like you don't really get to speak much unless you're actually like asked the question. Yeah, I got that 100%. And it was trying to get that like the sentences in, and trying to find the right point. You know, it's like you're driving, right? And you find the point to enter a lane. That's kind of what it
Yeah.
was like. You know, you're trying to find the right point to speak without interrupting those two, because this is their podcast. You are here as a guest, and like that's it.
I gotta agree with you 100%. That is a definite thing you think about on that show, because you don't want to interrupt them. You never know when one's gonna want to butt in to say something else, and you never want to interrupt them. I 100%. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I relate to that.
but
and too, like, yeah, it's like, no offense to any other podcast, but like, I mean, the way it's ran, I guess, because you know how big it is. Like, dude, you really don't know how to do. You know, you really don't know how to interject. I mean, you're just some nobody. I mean, I'm just some nobody. You know, I'm just some fan like that just loves these two guys, and you know.
And you know, I think I have a similar situation to you, Kyle. When the first time I ever was on the show, John couldn't make it, so me and Reed had a one-on-one.
Right, and that was cool.
And that was like, to me, I was like, I mean, if it was the other way around, still, of course, crazy. But for me, of course, in that situation, me being a Reed fan for a long time, I was like, well, okay, I'll take it. Like, let's do it. That's a great situation. Let's do it. And then I remember that still, that podcast, I think, ran 1 hour, 15 minutes exactly, I think.
It did. Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
To time it like that.
I love how Kyle has all the stats in his head. He's like, yeah, it was with Reed. It was 115.
Episode 54, like I said yesterday, that's when I joined in. The
Yes.
episode. I could
All the
track it
stats.
mostly with like my likes.
I think it comes through your glasses, like, you know how like in the FBI movies, like
it's a little Mission Impossible.
it's it. They go, and you see Kyle in the corner, like, okay, all right, okay.
Oh god. Okay. All right, Carl. Should we get into the next question?
Oh boy, I forgot about the. No, I'm just kidding.
we ran out of questions.
Oh god. Help me here. No. Okay, chat. Let's see. What keeps bringing you back? Sorry, I can't talk. To zombies, and how has it impacted you?
Oh Jesus. It's weird, and it's gonna be shocking to say, I really don't play any other games. Like, I really don't. Like GTA, poker, you know, some sports games. I'm probably gonna buy the next sports game, because I usually take gaps, because they usually are the same every single year. Sports games, so I usually buy every like 5 years. I buy a sports game. So, you know, like those games and stuff. But what makes me keep coming back? You know, I still enjoy making the fun content I make. Honestly, I tell people all the time, the zombies itself, ever since the end of BO3, the zombies itself hasn't been my main focus of my YouTube channel. Like, it always used to be, how do I make, like, all my videos back then were, how do I make sure the viewers see all the gameplay? How can I make the gameplay different? I gotta make sure I know how to build this, so I have this in my gameplay. Now, like I told you, especially now, me wanting to venture into stand-up comedy, I now took that, and that's what kind of is like my niche, if you want to say, of using comedy into the zombie content, where I use that, and I said to myself, okay, it's gonna come from a zombies game, because that's my fan base I established now within this community. And I said, you know what, if I want to kind of work my way into the comedy community and just get more broader fans, which I think I'm starting to establish, I said, you know what, it's gonna come from zombies games. And also, I still enjoy the mode itself. You know, I think I still have a little bit of love for the mode itself in the game. And Call of Duty also, all my friends play it, so playing my friends is always fun. And I don't know, it's kind of like that ex-girlfriend you got, where you're kind of always, you know, texting, but you're like, it's always locked in each year. They're always forgetting something in the game mode, but it's still something I love to do. So, yeah, no, that's why. And what it's done for me was the second part of the question, but what it's impacted me.
Yeah.
Pretty much my YouTube channel. If it wasn't for this game mode, I would have no YouTube channel. Really.
Yeah, I can relate to that, definitely. Like,
that's another fun. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say that, because my channel is based around zombies entirely, but then I have Twitch, which I use to stream other games that I've been. But this, like, ever since I've started building this community, like my range of games has never expanded further.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing games from Mafia 2 to The Walking Dead.
I love Mafia 2.
Fucking
Do
sick
not
game.
get me started on Mafia 2. Vito Scaletta, that's my dude. Okay, love it. Love it.
I loved it that much. It made it into my top 3 games of all time.
Oh, me too. I swear it's in my list too. It's on my list. If I ever had a gaming list I would make one day, that's definitely gonna be on my list.
Dude, absolutely cracking game. Loved every single second of it. Loved the way it played. Loved the story. Awesome. The characters were awesome. It was. I can't really describe it. It was a game. It was unlike any other game that I
think it's better than Mafia 3. You ever play Mafia 3?
No, I haven't played Mafia 3 yet.
I think you have to play it, of course, to just finish the franchise. But Mafia 2 takes the cake for me. I think it's great.
And I know one person who will completely agree with you on that, and I'm not going to say the name because they know exactly who they are. But yeah, no, but it's nice to keep the zombie stuff all in one place.
Yeah.
And that's what the channel's for. You know, it's it's like the podcast and stuff like that. Just I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and again, not to creep you out there right here, but it's funny, man. I heard like when you said before Zombies, you were like a big playing sports games and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was literally the same way, dude. Like I had the first play. Well, I had the Super Nintendo, the N64, the PlayStation. Then I kept to the 4. But yeah, I was playing nothing but like Madden, mainly NCAA. I love college football, of course. South, we're in Alabama.
That's it.
I'm not actually an Alabama or Auburn fan. My mom's an Auburn fan. I'm actually a Miami fan. So.
Oh wow, you're the outsider.
They think I'm really weird. Yeah, and then like I said, by the time I decided to get into BO3, then like I was just all zombies, dude. Like the first time I loaded in the shadows, it was like, bam. That was
it for me for BO2. Once I loaded in, it took me a while actually, because when it was just zombies for me, when it was just like a mode you shoot at zombies and that's it, done, wasn't much. When I learned there was a story into zombies, that was my in. I was like, okay, I'm in. What do we do? Okay, what is this? And yeah, I get that was BO2 for me, man. Like trying to figure out who's Stullinger, who's Russman, who's Misty, who's that? How about who's Richtofen? Why is he speaking? Why can't we see him? Who is he? Oh, and then discovering old games. That's Richtofen. That's what he looks like. That's what Nikolai looks like. Who's this guy? Oh my! If I can go back to like the initial days where I just started discovering the basics. Oh my god, that's like early 2012, early 2012.
Yeah, that's how I was. Like I was playing with my best friend Ben, who I did a lot of the BO4 Easter eggs with because I got the Xbox so we could play it because I was on PS4 back at BO3. But even when we played, when he came over my house like on launch day, I was like, we're looking at the Shadow Man. I'm like, dude, like. I bet that dude is like going to be the ending boss to this whole thing.
Oh boy.
I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know.
If you would have made a video, my God, imagine that.
I knew nothing about the story. I mean, at that point, I didn't even know who Ultimus or Primus was. So I didn't know like.
Tab.
And especially playing with the Shaz Zero character, you're like, okay, now who are these guys?
Right. So yeah, it was like that was pretty crazy. And then I know you what was that I was gonna say? I can't remember.
Sport games.
Shoot.
Might come back to you later.
Yeah, it might. Ah, damn it.
They have a tendency to.
Backtrack it in your glasses. Maybe you captured it. Maybe you got it.
He looks like he's a member of the fucking Matrix.
Mr. Anderson.
I was gonna say, I mean,
Mr. Anderson.
Who'd you think I was, Chad? I mean, did you assume like I was Freddie Mercury? Do you even know?
Did you not see the mustache in that guy? Did you not see him? Look at that.
Yeah, see, I mean, I have a shitty mustache.
Don't even. I was just gonna say I brought up mustache. Didn't even want to point out, dude. Look at this. Nothing grows in the middle here. It's done. It's over. It's over. It's done. See you later. It's over.
Sadly, I'm much older and I still can't grow.
I'm younger than you, and yeah, I grow this.
I know.
I was gonna say, we're looking at Matt Lobster, and he has a whole beard.
I've got a whole facial hair, dude. But this grows, like, I will shave this off, and this will grow back really, really quickly. Like, really quickly.
I just thought about it. I got really hungry, and I just thought about what it was. Milo, Mr. Waffle Waffles.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You'll always kind of joke, and it's ironically funny because when I came into BO3, right?
Yeah.
My friend Ben, who knows nothing about zombies, doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Basically, we're playing. He got me into it. He's starting to show me, YouTube, and oh yeah, there's these guys that are on here that post videos for guides. I'm like, wait, huh? Like, people do this? Like, I mean, because I was old enough to know what YouTube was. I mean, I said, I was born in '89, so
Wow.
But so I knew about YouTube, but I always thought, oh, this is just like YouTube's just a platform where people just post, like TikTok. Like, I mean, no offense, just, I mean, you just post shit just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Just see what it does. And yeah, I was, he showed me like we pulled up Noah J. So we watched, I watched Noah J. Then I was like, man, I gotta look up these guys. So then I find like Glitching Queen, I find Milo, and boom, when I found Milo, dude, it was like, I'm like you. I'm literally watching every video. I'm like, this guy knows everything. This, it's a storyline. I need to know more. Yeah. I love this game. I want to play it. I don't want to. Now I'm gonna watch the videos when I'm not playing it, and that's how I got into this whole, like I said, the YouTuber.
It's so crazy, like that. Like exactly what you said. Like I remember watching YouTube on my sister's iPad, and I remember just not even looking at who the channel was. I swear to God, if they had a cool thumbnail and it said the title, what it was, what I was looking for, I clicked on it. I wish I would know what was Dalek, what was a Milo video I was watching back then, because I don't really know. But I know for sure I definitely watched the Milo video back then. I definitely watched the Dalek video back then. And now to think, like I met them and I saw them, like it's so crazy to now also think that some of them don't even care about the storyline anymore. The storyline being so much crazier than it was. Like I remember when I first started, like probably for the same for you, or well for you as well, BO3 you started saying the storyline. So for me, BO2, the storyline was I was learning about who Samantha was, who Maxis was. The kind of cast we had was so small. Now it's like, what? Like, it's so crazy. Like, for you had the Mob of the Dead crew you had to learn about. You had to learn about the Transit crew. You had to learn about the Shadows of Evil crew. You had so many people you had to learn about. For me, it was like that. And I'm actually happy it happened that way. I always say I'm happy BO2 was my first Call of Duty because it was like it was the right one to start with, because it was so like the start. It was the beginning of the craziness to come.
Now you sound like me with BO3. I was I joined in at BO3 because BO3, I mean, it was good and bad because it's like I started at the like.
Well, you joined during the golden age, the prime.
Right.
So it was also the great year, yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say. And then literally a year later with the next game, and just all my dreams and hope. I mean, I still had fun during BO4, I really did, but it's just just the
not the same energy, not the same vibe.
No, dude, BO3, I tell everybody this, was executed beautifully in marketing. All of you guys posting your videos.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, during BO3, I was posting videos, and it was like I look back at those videos now, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, oh baby,
baby,
like you thought this was good at some point. Hey, oh baby, okay.
Yeah, I loved watching that one video you showed off Turbo when you're like baby Turbo first trying to stream BO3 launch day.
Oh yes, the vlog, the day one vlog. Oh boy, my old HP laptop and the brick Elgato, just oh my god.
Okay, but so I'll transition.
It's also mad to think that we all started in different games.
Yeah.
Spike's an OG. He started in World of War.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the earliest.
I started in BO1. Turbo, you're BO2. Carl, you're BO3.
No,
we go in the line there.
Jeez.
No gaps at all.
Insane.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Which is nuts.
All different perspectives.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Carl's is the best because he came in at the peak.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's why I get sad anytime I think back. I want to go back to 2015 again. I want to go back to when, like I said, out all these videos. You had Reed freaking out, like, you know, world on DE, and you had Johnny J with his Q&A.
Watching those streams are great.
I miss his Q&As and just everybody, yeah. So, yeah. But next question is, what's your favorite map, Turbo?
I say Horizon Drac when it comes to storyline and just in general Easter egg stuff like that. For nostalgia and having fun, always will be Town for me. Because Town was the map, like I said, I would come from junior high school. I would come home, just play a bunch of Town, and just that's it. And we would play for hours. We wouldn't care. So yeah.
To think when Treyarch released BO2 that a simple survival map would be better than the main map itself.
Crazy.
Who would have thought it?
Because it had everything there for you. It had everything there for you. You didn't have to go nowhere.
Exactly. You had to open a couple doors, and it was. I think the main thing was also it was fun at the time. A lot of people didn't enjoy Transit at the time. Town was fun, but now going back and actually playing, like yesterday, I did a 2-box on Transit with a good friend of mine.
How long did you want to just like ram your head through a window?
Honestly, I didn't because it was the 2-box. We actually had a lot of fun, and this friend actually turned around and said that I actually had fun playing Transit. How often can people say that?
Not often.
It was great.
Complete opposite when we did the Easter egg.
Oh, dude. Now I wanted to run.
You want to hear a bad Transit Easter egg story? So me, Vinny Boombots, and my friend Casso, we're doing the Transit Easter egg. Now I believe in that if you do have 3 people, one person has to throw it 2 directions, and then the other 2 just do it on their direction. So for the EMP at the end of the Easter egg. So we get to the whole Easter egg. We have to get the EMPs. 3 people have to get EMPs. We gotta do this, do that. Let me tell you something. We get to the end. My friend Casa goes, "Oh, I gotta go. So I'm sorry. I gotta go." That Xbox 360, Slick Shadow left the party. Slick Shadow left the game. Me and Vinny are like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god." He just made us go through the whole Transit Easter egg to lead us to the water to drink and then say, "Bye, see you later." I was like,
that's a big yikes.
We always bring it up to him to this day. Always bring it up to him, and he always gets so like, "All right, guys, all right, I'm sorry. All right, God, I'm sorry."
It's just like, "Sorry, I ain't gonna cut it this time, Chief."
And they had to go to like a wrestling tournament. Like, who cares about wrestling? Go to the gym. Who cares? Don't go.
Yeah, you know, that big deal.
That's it.
When I first did Transit Easter egg, two of the people that I was with, they kept bleeding out and dying in the fog every time we were ready to do that step.
Oh my god.
So we spent like 20 to 40 minutes just waiting for them to just survive, for them to get EMPs. It was a fucking nightmare.
Jesus.
At least it went way more smoothly than with me, Jack, and the other 2 guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that was Spike. Our box luck with the EMPs was stupidly good.
Wow, that's luck.
Stupidly good. It took me 2 hits of the box. 2 hits of the box to get EMPs.
Wow.
2 hits of the box. How often
is a horseshoe up your ass, my
How
friend.
often is that RNG? That RNG is never on your side when you're doing the moon Easter egg.
Oh yeah, like,
non-DL3, yeah.
I remember when Zombie Chronicles came out. I remember hearing like when Dolly took like an hour trying to get Gerst devices out of the box. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, no. Picture that though. At the beginning, BO1, knowing we don't have any help whatsoever, BO1, Treyarch at one point said, "You know what we're gonna make them do? We're gonna have to make them get like 4 items out of this box to do this Easter egg." And you know what? 2 of them you need. You need 3 of them you really need. Yep. So yeah, go have fun. Like what? Who thought of this?
Yeah.
Honestly,
fucking wild.
Thanks, Jimmy. I always blame Jimmy for this stuff.
Yeah, really.
Jimmy Zielinski.
Jimmy Zielinski. What a name. Well, what a lad, but you know, he's gone, and bye. All right, Carl, what's the next question?
You never know, chat. Jimmy may come back.
Don't
Dear
know.
God.
Do not believe him.
That'll be the day.
They're gonna wait all this time to bring him back.
Jesus.
Oh Lord. Okay.
The day
Okay.
of reckoning.
So this might actually be a pretty spicy one. Might actually be a pretty long historied one. But where does your gamer tag come from? Because I'm assuming you probably have had multiple.
The artificial turbo.
Or is that the only? Yeah. Just
Yeah. Well, artificial turbo. Surprisingly enough, that ain't the craziest one I've ever had. Artificial turbo was well, when I first got my PS4, my channel was still artificial gaming. It was still the Call of Duty Clan channel. I remember when we all got our PS4s. Me, Vinny, and Matt, we all said, okay, we're gonna make our names for like the clan to make it look official. We're gonna put like artificial in front of our name, so artificial turbo, artificial meep, and Vinny was the only one that didn't get the memo, and he made his own name, and he just so that's how artificial turbo happened. Before that was turbo T, which actually has more meaning now because it's now spells turbot. For people at home.
Turbot.
Then before that was my name before I went by Turbo. Even though Turbo was my nickname in real life for my whole life, on YouTube I didn't use Turbo. I used Zombie Slayer 115X. That's why some old videos you will find on my channel. I say, "What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Artificial Gaming. This is AR Zombie Slayer 115X."
Wow.
You will hear me say that. And then probably AR Turbo happened after, I don't know, I want to say after IW, and then probably be the beginning of IW, and then the channel became Turbo after ZWC too. So yeah.
Wow. It's quite annoying actually because whenever I Google Turbo, the first thing to come up is that godforsaken movie.
That's why the merch design inside the perk logo has the snail. I had to use the meme somehow. You know, it was either Linda from Bob's Burgers or the snail from Turbo. And I said, let's put a Turbo Super Slime. Let's put a snail in the perk bottle. So yeah, so that fuck that snail. But yeah, I at least I come up on the first page though. Now I'm like the second channel that like you scroll down 1 inch, I'm there. But still, that damn snail is the first thing that comes up. And then there's another channel named Turbo that makes like EDM dubstep music. That just has like a music channel that just does music. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But that one comes up, and then mine finally though comes up right when you type it in. Before though, never came up, and so I was like, what the? And I actually got in contact with Chucky from the Z House, Chucky, and I DM'd him, and because he's into all that behind the scenes analytics stuff. So I was like, how do I get rid of the snail? And my name finally pops up. He goes, just keep putting in tags, keep putting in description, just make sure you change that algorithm to your. I was like, all right. So I kept doing it, and I guess more videos I posted, YouTube said, okay, there's another Turbo that's coming out that's more active than probably other Turbos, so let's push him. So thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, when I ever tweeted at you, this is such a good idea. I thought, man, Turbo is either gonna love or hate this. But when I ever tweeted out like the picture of the Turbo snail and said, anytime I think of Turbo and I think of this sexy bastard, and you're just like, the response was just like, fuck that snail.
Fuck the snail.
Like, I know Turbo is like,
we don't have beef, but me and the snail have beef. That's the story. Right. Me and the snail have beef. I will squash him if I ever see him.
That was so
he will become Turbo Super Slime.
Oh man.
That's so many changes though, Jesus.
Yeah, dude. That was really interesting though about your old tag.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Very, very interesting.
And a big reason why I even changed is because I even said back then, thinking, and also puts perspective on how long I wanted to do merch. I said back then, I was like, if I ever want to do merch for Artificial Gaming, Zombie Slayer 115X is going to be a really large name to put in text. So I was like, I better change this up for my fan base of 2 people. So I was like, let me change the AR Turbo.
It's like, I mean, yeah, Turbo is it's a simple yet effective name.
That's it.
It's short and sweet to say.
Short and simple.
But yet, whenever you hear the word turbo, all I want to do is run like lightning. No,
that's it.
I just want to run really, really fast.
I have the easiest answer for whenever you had that question next to you. What would be a superpower? My name's already Turbo. Come on, I have to run.
It's gonna be super speed.
I'm super speed. That's it. Done.
Yeah, dude, your nickname is very cool. Very, yeah, I really like it.
And my father kind of gave a little bit of the backstory yesterday on my 12-hour stream when my parents came in for a segment for the stream.
Dude, I love your parents, dude. I still to this day like bust your balls about your Papa Van Sexy, and then the episode where you had your mom on. And the one person in chat donated was like, "Your mom's a MILF." You're like, "Mom, you're a MILF."
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming that was all just off the cusp, but if that was the greatest moment when you started pushing her, like, okay, Mom, okay. It was just so great with your accent, dude, the Brooklyn accent, just the
when those things happen, like there was a ton of stuff I saw in the chat yesterday. My parents and the fucking thing, I instantly fucking deleted. Get the hell out of there because I can't say that shit. But you see me and question why am I the way I am. I bring my parents in. Questions answered. That's it. You see how they are. That's it. But my dad, what was I gonna say? But my dad came into the show and he kind of gave a backstory on why my nickname was Turbo. And
that's cool.
Yeah, that was great.
I like that. I've got one. Is it one more question, Kyle?
Yeah, one last question. What's your favorite childhood game?
Childhood game. Okay. So I'm gonna have to go with the Spider-Man games made from Treyarch for the GameCube.
Oh, yes.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, I would be on the, remember elementary. I don't know how it works in the UK or on whatever your elementary schools did, but there would be like carpets you would sit on during fucking school, and you would sit on the carpet. And I remember being antsy. Like in my body, antsy. Like I gotta go home because just web swinging was so just therapeutic, and you're web swinging, and just Spider-Man 2, that game, and crazy enough to think that what I'm basing my quote unquote career off of on YouTube right now is from a Treyarch game, and being so little in kindergarten, like first grade, second grade, third grade, playing a Treyarch game, it's like full circle. But those games. I remember being first of all, I was a Spider-Man fanatic growing up, but 2, the GameCube games, man. Oh my god. And I think the Spider-Man games, of course, but I also think a close second would kind of have to be I gotta be very honest with you, it kind of have to be the WWE games. I used to be into the wrestling games a lot. I used to be into wrestling a lot when I was little too, and the wrestling games like WWE 2Ks, I would every year get them.
Wow,
that's another cool thing with you and Reed in wrestling. I like that, and in New York, that is just that's really neat.
Me and Reed are definitely, we gotta go to a Yankee game. The season's just starting up. I don't know if he's thinking it's safe yet to go, but I'll go. I don't care. I'll go.
I want to watch that. I got to see you and Reed in a vlog, man.
That's it. We'll vlog it. That's how it'll work, and I'll definitely go to a Yankee game with him. But yeah, no, those are the 2 games I enjoyed playing growing up.
Dude, GameCube was because both myself and my brother, we had our own GameCubes growing up.
Yeah.
Because in our old house we had a cellar, and the cellar was our room. That's where all of our stuff was. We absolutely loved it, and we both each had our own GameCubes. He was very into the Spider-Man 2 game, and Sonic, the Sonic game. Me, I was more Mario Kart Double Dash and Simpsons Hit and Run. And it was just The GameCube was so cool. It was
It
definitely.
really was.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
My cousins still to this day, every time we meet each other, they're like, "Can you bring the GameCube? Because I still have my GameCube. They still got their GameCube. I still have all my Game Boy games. I have all my Game Boy games, like the handheld Game Boy. I still got them. And that too, the Game Boy games. Me growing up, The Simpsons, Road Rage on the Game Boy, the Scooby Doo games like Haunted Mansion or whatever the hell that game. What do you call it? Ton of games on the GameCube. The Game Boy. I remember being in the car and in my car seat, just on my Game Boy. Just oh my god, I would love to buy I think a place I know over here in Brooklyn fixes retro games and stuff. I would love to play the Game Boy again. Oh my god. I actually would love just like a handheld game to play, like just picking something up and just going like just getting into something. Like I would love that. Oh my god.
Sounds like me, dude. I still have the original Game Boy. I still have my, yeah. I mean, I started out on Pokemon, man. I was like the Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon.
Never got into the Pokemon. Never got into it.
Dude, that was like, that was just like everything. Like I played that so much. That was a 97, 98 kind of, 7 or 8. I was like 7 or 8, in elementary school, and the trading cards. Oh god, dude, in the US that was nuts. Pokemon was like, if you were around that time, old enough to know and remember it, it was just
my elementary school was filled with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all those games. I remember so many lunch cafeteria moments, like trying to get into it, but the whole time I'm like, I don't know what this means. And you know how many games of Pokemon I played with my friends, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, that. And they go, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, what is this?
Turbo, you got to get into the ooh pow pow culture.
Ooh pow pow culture. There you go. But that's anime culture. That's anime. That's anime.
No, it doesn't get as.
You just reminded me. I gotta watch anime with Jack. You just reminded me. Oh my god.
Now, last night when you they were getting into the anime that Crazy Rabbit wanted y'all to get into was another thing.
Was that the one he wrote in chat and Jack said it was bad or something? I'm not sure if that was Pico and something. Yeah, because Jack was like, if you watch this, Turbo, you will not give anime a chance. I'm like, what is this then?
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, boy.
Don't do it.
Okay, so we're gonna switch on to our next topic here.
Ooh.
And it's gonna be about something that was featured in your live stream yesterday.
Ooh.
Your merch.
Oh, my merch.
Yes.
All the beautiful people that didn't know about your live stream, 12-hour live stream, or however long.
Fucking 12 hours,
like
dude.
13 hours, honestly. That last segment, 13 hours.
Yeah, give them an idea if they don't know much about your merch, man.
So this is the Turbo merch, pretty much based off my logo, where the hand's holding the controller. Me and Zwernik decided to go with a different aspect of the logo and to go with my own perk bottles. I never had to. The last year was my first year doing merch, and it was just a simple, plain old, regular Turbo logo I had on a black or white shirt, just shirts. That's it. $10 a pop. That's it. And this time, of course, Zwernik. Shout out to Zwernik. I call him my Pablo Picasso. He is a mastermind. I told him to whip this up for me. This week on the It Is What It Is podcast, we're gonna have him on as a guest, and we're gonna show the sketches that he made of this logo. And when I tell you how fast it took him, I told him in a DM. Lightning bolt with a hand coming out of it holding a bottle. He did like this, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you're gonna be my friend. Hi, my name's Turbo. How you doing? Like this is we're gonna have a relationship because I saw the talent on him and I saw exactly what he can do. And so yeah, this is my Turbo merch. We have shirts in black and white. We have hoodies in black and white, and we have stickers. And it's all on my Teespring. I believe it's teespring.com/shop.
Yeah, I'm actually showing I'm showing the merch on the podcast right now.
There you go, right there. Boom, bada bing. He's already out of the game. And so it's I call it the Super Slime collection because the bottle is called Turbo Super Slime. And yeah, so we got all those things, and as you can see, I try to keep it as affordable as possible, because and that is something where I happily take a hit on, and I happily say, but proudly, because I see these YouTubers that just they just drop merch and they drop a shirt for like $30. And I take that as, of course, it's business, and of course they make their income, whatever the case may be, and they're not doing it of a bad intent, of course, but they just think they want to make their money. But they just drop it with a link. That's it, new merch. I like to build it up. I like to make it a thing. It's an actual merch drop, and because it gets people involved, and they feel connected to it. And I seen that with this past week with my the marketing I did and with the merch and stuff, and it got people wanting to get it because, like I said, I keep a ton of it affordable. Like I said, the biggest thing I said, and Magna Collider probably heard me 1,000 times on podcasts and streams, being a broken record, trying to say this merch line is wallet friendly. Like I try, because if you immediately, because I've been in that position tons of times, YouTuber merch, any merch, a ton of times where I would hear my favorite YouTuber, or just in general a rapper or whatever, entertainer, comedian with merch, and I see a hoodie or something and it's $65, $70, and I instantly feel like empty in my wallet. I'm like, fuck, I can't get this then. Once you give them that feeling of empty in their wallet, it's going to give them a bad feeling inside. I want everybody to feel like, you know what? It's not about the money. It really isn't. It's about having a piece of my entertainment and my, and my merch that I care most about. You just having the merch. So the shirts are $15, the hoodies are $25, and the stickers are $4. And there's some there's some shirts going on sale in people's store that's $30. And nothing is over $25 in this merch line. So I try to make it very, very affordable for people. And even the shipping, I think, is very, very affordable. So I think that this is the first of many cool things I want to do in the sense of merch.
Yep.
It will always be affordable. That's the one thing I will always try to come across as, is like affordable merch. And like I said, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Nelk. The crazy guys that go crazy on YouTube, partying, college parties, whatever the case may be. You probably see Instagram clips of some of them, of like Steve will do it chugging beers, probably on World Star. You see him chugging bottles of liquor and stuff. And they do merch drops, like seasonal merch drops, and that gives your fan base something to look forward to and keep and changing your content within the merch. If it's like a winter drop, you're making some winter content to kind of relate with the merch, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with how this merch came out. Yesterday was the first day the merch came out. That's why I did the 12-hour live stream. Yesterday was the first day. It's going to be out for a week. So next Monday is the last day. So it's limited edition. Get it for a week only. Monday's the last day. Ships everywhere. And yesterday was a great success. Went better than I ever expected. And it's all thanks to you guys out there for buying the merch. So I can't thank anybody but you guys.
That's fantastic, dude. That really is. And the comment you were saying about like your favorite artist releasing merch, and you're unable to like purchase it. That's actually what I was like when I first found out Reed did merch. Like the posters.
Same thing with the posts. Yes, with the posters. You know how long I was looking for the perk posters, and then I didn't have enough the first time they came on sale. The first time the perk posters went on sale on Reed's website, when I found out where to get them, I didn't have enough, so I couldn't get them. I had to wait for the other month to come out because he would do it like in the span of like every couple of DLCs. Yeah. So I had to wait like another 3-4 months. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, same feeling.
But it was great when you actually finally got to purchase it. And like I'm very fortunate because now I have the the Ether poster, I have the obviously the Death Force series. Over there I have the Memories collection. I've got the Zombroz poster over there, and behind my TV I've got Bandolier Bandit.
Wow.
I've got that poster there, so but it's like they're just such cool posters. When you can actually purchase them, you just feel like you can do nothing but love them.
Really? No, and speaking of posters, it's crazy because I have my own poster now. I have my own Last Man Standing poster.
Do, yeah.
Yeah, for Last Man Standing. And that's great. And that's crazy too to bring up because being a Reed fan and wanting to buy his posters, like we just said, wanting to buy his posters, now going and having people to be able to buy one of my own posters from Reed and John's company now is like, what? It's like, what? Like, it's insane. Like, really insane.
It's bonkers. But
Bonkers.
dude, massive congrats on the launch, though, of the merch.
Oh,
and
thank you. Appreciate it.
it's really good to hear that it's done way better than what you was expecting. So that could do nothing but
it broke the first 10 minutes of yesterday's sale broke last year's records in 10 minutes.
wow.
It was so
That's
crazy.
fantastic.
Because I had no clue because I'm using Teespring, so I had no clue how to use the website. So I was like looking at the first 10 minutes. I was looking at the see. I was like, oh, analytics. And I saw the numbers, and I was like, this is already better than last year's 24-hour live stream when I sold the merch for.
Yeah.
I was like, in the first 10 minutes, I was like, holy, I was like, you guys are either nuts or you stole your mom's credit cards. You're doing something. Like, something's going on here, but oh my, yeah, thank you, though. It was insanity.
I held my credit card hostage.
There you go. That's it.
Dude, you don't even want to know, like, just between this PC, this mic.
Oh, dude, don't worry about it. Don't even.
No, dude. But no. If I, like I said, man, if I already had the shirt, I would have wore that today. But maybe next time we get you on, I'll definitely wear it, dude.
That's it.
Dude, the black is gonna look so good. I look good in black. So
The black is very popular. I see the black
Dude.
is very popular for merch. Very popular.
black, I know, at least for me, I look really good in black. I feel
Yeah,
really,
people say it makes them look slimmer. Black.
Same.
Yeah.
really does make you look. It looks very sleek and slim.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I what you call it? It was it's really crazy. Like I said before, now with the relationship I have with Zwinik, and this actually merch drop was like plan D, like what I wanted to do. Like plan A was getting this logo as a patch and stitching it on all the merch, like having it actually stitched, and the price point being the fucking same. It was going to be, and the marketing I was gonna do and shit and everything, it was gonna be crazy. But then the virus happened, and that slowed everything down manufacturing wise. Then the manufacturers I got into to try to do other ideas and stuff, that slowed down. So I was like, this whole year, just the curveballs being thrown the whole year. I was like, okay, you know what? I just gotta do it simple for this year. Bite the bullet. Keep those ideas stored for next year.
Yeah.
And like I said, with the ideas I have with Zwinik now and the format of as I want to try to mold my merch line and my merch store into, it's not going to be just like an ordinary, like, no shade given whatsoever. I swear to God, I love pizza, whatever. I love Ben. I'll smooch his cheeks any day. But like today, I just saw he posted a link to his Teespring, new merch out, and it's fucking great. However, I would never want to do that because I'm the type of person because I want you guys to get hyped. I want it to be like there's more.
Absolutely.
Maybe bring like videos involved to get you guys like the video I did with like me with the bathrooms. Like since the Last Man Standing, when I get into my crazy moods, I sound like Linda from Bob's Burgers. So people be like, "Is Turbo a girl? Is Turbo a girl?" So I did that little meme video. I was like, I try to make the merch drop into something you can entertain. If, like you said, if someone can't get the merch, and that's not a problem whatsoever, because if you're supporting me, liking the merchandise, you're retweeting the merchandise, you're spreading the word. That means the most to it, and them getting involved like that just makes which made the merch so like successful yesterday. And I'm just it was crazy.
Yeah, just quickly, and Antonio Ortega, he's quite a common guy in my channel. He just put in chat that he bought 2 hoodies of your merch.
My brother, thank you so much, dude. Holy shit, thank you so much, Antonio. Thank you. There's Revive Gamer. There he is. Guys, how you doing? Thank you so much, Antonio. Appreciate you. Thank you.
It's a very cool design. Very cool design. I love because it's not. I suppose because it's not too busy as well.
No.
Like you see, like
I keep it very clean, very simple.
Yeah, like I see a lot of t-shirts out there where it's just such a busy pattern, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking at? I look at that, and I see like just it's sleek, it's clean, it's simple, but yeah, it's effective, and honestly, the quality of it as well, absolutely amazing. Like, you, honestly, you done a fab job with it. You really did.
Thank you. No, thank you. It's gonna be hopefully when people get it, they like it. Hopefully it's really cool. And like I said, more stuff to come. Like it's gonna get like people who can't get this merch, unfortunately. Like who knows? Maybe I may drop this logo again because I can always resell these. I can always I still have the logo. I can still do it. So who knows? I may bring back this as a limited edition again in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, honestly, I'm absolutely 100% gutted because you said the sale ends next Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, I get paid on the Tuesday.
Oh,
So
damn it!
I'm really gutted because I really wanted to purchase one of the hoodies. But yeah, maybe I'll get them. Maybe I'll get them next time.
Don't worry. Maybe I'll extend it one day. Don't worry. Maybe I was already planning on extending it.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Now,
You heard it here
I
first.
wasn't gonna say, but now that you said that, I feel bad. So who knows? Maybe Tuesday the store will be open still. Who knows?
Well,
One thing I would like to see, Turbo.
This is a ZombSquad exclusive. Who knows?
One thing I would like to see though, Turbo, is maybe like in a next drop or something where like hoodie, like the logo's on the chest or like whatever you do, right?
Yeah.
So, like it's on the chest and then on the back it's a bigger version of it.
Ooh, okay. Look, okay.
Oh,
kind of
like
thank you, Kanye. Let me write this down. Easy.
that's isn't that kind of like what Syndicate does?
Like
He does like isn't that kind of like what Syndicate does? He does like the big patterns on the back, doesn't he? Like
Syndicate's merch line is a big inspiration to mine too. Syndicate has a pretty good merch line itself.
I've bought 4 t-shirts from Syndicate's line now, like merch line, and I've loved every single one of them. My favorite one is definitely the what looks like one of the playing cards with the lion. I absolutely love that one.
Yes.
Absolutely love that one.
I like his long sleeve stuff with the stuff in the long sleeves.
Where he has didn't he do one where it was like life's too short, make the most of it down the arms?
Yep.
Yeah, they look so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Absolutely love them.
Yeah, Turbo, and even your like your overlay yesterday on your live stream, Zwinnick designed that, or did he design that too? Or
The webcam frame, he made that. The image itself on the intermission screen of me with the hoodie on, he made that. He made all of those, and that's amazing. The animation though, the lightning bolt that says link down below, that was actually made by Archie. I'm not sure if you know Archie on Twitter. Archie made that. But Zwinnick made everything. All the promo image, like the perk poster itself, like the poster with the bottle alone, like drink up, that he made that. The animation of me holding the bottle with the glasses on, he made that. He made the my Twitter banner, all the images with the lightning bolts of me inside the lightning bolt. That's why I said I have so many ideas now on what I want to do. Me and Jack we're just talking about some podcast merch maybe coming in the future. So who knows about that? But me and Zwinnick have a ton of ideas, and I hopefully soon get into a call to think about already plan out probably future things to do like from a year's time. So hopefully,
I look forward to see what you drop, what ideas you have next in terms of merch.
Now that I got the ball rolling and now I have like the spark for like the merch side of things, because I never got into the merch side of things until like last month. So, the beginning of quarantine when I first, because that's the thing also, I had all of these images and all of these promo marketing things that I just started posting last Wednesday. I had all of these things since the beginning of quarantine. So I couldn't show any of this to anybody. I think I showed like plus Johnny, Jack the Bus, and like Tim to get their opinion. But other than that, no one. And when I started releasing the marketing stuff, I was like, oh yes. Like, I can't, and then people loved it, and I was like, yes. I was like, that's what I like to see.
Yeah, I do love that design. I'm actually very, very intrigued to see what ideas you pull out of your head for the next merch drop.
It's gonna be hopefully, because I had no clue at all either what it is. I think safe to say another ZombSquad exclusive. I think it's safe to say probably the next thing, since I did my own merch drop, get that involved. I may want to do a collaboration with Jack the Bus on this next merch drop where it's a podcast.
Oh, nice.
Where me and Jack the Bus work on a podcast logo and we do some podcast merch for the podcast. Because I learned a lot yesterday when I did that final segment with the people in the Discord call, where I did that. And I also just in general seeing people in the chat say this. I learned yesterday that we have a big podcast audience rather than because we have like I always knew people watch my ordinary videos sometimes come and watch the podcast, of course, like you know they watch the same thing. I didn't know though I have viewers and fans that actually came from the channel just from the podcast and are actually podcast fans more than they even know what my zombies history is. So I learned that yesterday. So that even makes me more excited to put more work into the podcast, not even for merch, just the podcast itself. Because the podcast itself, I can't wait to get back into, because I wanted to do so many cool things, not only for the podcast, but for the channel. Like I started getting into vlogs again, like starting January, I did my first vlog. I did like 3 vlogs before the quarantine. And I started getting into vlogs again. I wanted to do some funny segments for the podcast again. Maybe Boombots Blitz maybe would have had a couple more episodes. Who would have known? But then just the world shut down and things changed. But yeah, I can't wait to get more IRL stuff into this channel again, because this quarantine put a pause on a lot of the ideas I wanted to do. I'm really excited to see where this merch stuff goes.
Yeah, and honestly you should be. And so I'm very, very intrigued to see. There's also something that I've wanted to ask you, and it's actually about the podcast. So where did, obviously, because you said Zombroz was an inspiration behind you starting your own podcast.
Yeah.
Was it mainly that, or were there other elements and segments involved that really made you think, you know what, I want to do this and I want to give it a go?
Oh, 100%. What you call it? The Joe Rogan podcast, that podcast. Joey Diaz, his podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now. Who else? Which I'm not sure if you know, a Good Mythical Morning. I know they have a podcast, but Good Mythical Morning, just their show, the way they would have like a talking aspect, I enjoyed that. But a ton of things influenced me to do a podcast. I always love rambling. If you watch my streams, you watch my videos, you know I love rambling. I love speaking. And I told this story yesterday on the podcast. I kept saying, every time I mentioned the stream I did yesterday, I keep saying podcast for how long it was. But the stream,
that's fair.
On yesterday's stream, I talked about the story where there would be times where this would be during the days of course artificial gaming, but when it was Advanced Warfare was out and teasers of BO3, or even before that sometimes, where I would sit on the edge of my bed and I would be talking to myself, making believe I was streaming because I couldn't stream at that time. So I always wanted a fan base and always wanted that thing to I wanted like a chat and stuff to talk to. And I remember making believe I was streaming and talking to myself and blah, blah, blah. And I always loved that type of content. So when I wanted to do a podcast, because the history of the podcast is, to give a very quick story of it, I had the Artificial Gaming podcast where I did it with Vinny and Matt for the Clan podcast. Then, like I said, Friends podcast don't last long, and they didn't last long. So I would do the podcast by myself, like very inconsistently, like once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once that week. And I would have some smaller people of like friends that I would just meet on Twitter, just randomly people, which would have no connection whatsoever to nothing we would talk about. And then Near Die came into my life. I met Near Die, or Morticious now, Near Die, Dean. And he pretty much, I thanked him yesterday after the merch line, because after the merch drop, after that podcast, after that stream, I was just so happy and filled with just joy that I can't believe this is happening to me. So I remember messaging him, saying to him, because I will always thank him for opening up my world on social media. He was the person to kind of give me that nudge, saying, Turbo, there's a big I kind of had like that superhero moment where he like, Near Die gave me the nudge, and he was like, Turbo, there's a bigger world than you know. There's a bigger community. There's a lot more people you need to contact to than you know. So I'm going to introduce you to these people. And he kind of took me along, and I kind of like learned the ropes of like, okay, like this is who I got to talk to. This is a good person to kind of be in a relationship with, to, make a connection with. And I messaged him yesterday. I was like, dude, I will never forget that. Thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. And when I met him, he said, hey, he goes, why not can I be a co-host of a podcast? I was like, okay, cool. And I'm a person to think of, if we're going to start something new, we can't keep the same name. It got to be a new name, new everything. It got to be fresh. So we picked the name Truth Be Told. We got an email from another podcast that was already Truth Be Told. And we were like, okay, we got to change the name. So then we were thinking of podcast names when Truth Be Told, the last episode of Truth Be Told, I think was the one with Jack the Bus. And then me, Jack the Bus, and Near Die came together and thought of a name. The famous story is I wanted Got Balls for the podcast name. Balls. People didn't like it. So we made it to It Is What It Is. And then the ball got rolling. We started having little by little better guest on. My channel started growing, so that made better guest come on. Jack joined Carnage Clan, better guest coming on, and that's how the ball rolled. ZWC2, MC Sports Talk coming on, and pretty much, my biggest goal of that podcast was like, don't be another statistic, don't be another podcast that just starts and then ends. Like, don't be another statistic on this podcast. We are, I believe next podcast is 110 now. So we are at 110 episodes. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we've been going since World War II, since not 1942, since Call of Duty World War II. That's the Joe Rogan podcast. He's on episode 5000. He's been going World War II. But we've been going since the beginning of World War II, Call of Duty World War II, I just never want it to end. And I think just, making this podcast be another outlook of who I am, because I feel like I open up a lot sometimes on my podcast, and that my podcast is a big place for people who don't really know me as a person to watch and, listen more instead of just me entertaining you on Zombies or something.
Yeah.
Dude, you're still so entertaining on your podcast.
I try to too. Like I say the same thing to Jack. I'm like, there's some times where we don't want to do a podcast. There's some times where we're tired. Like today, if I did a 12-hour live stream on a Friday and I had to wake up for a podcast, listen to me. And like, this is great because it's like I'm a minute, like we're having a conversation. When I'm doing, and you know this for a fact. When you're doing your own podcast, you're the pilot. You're making sure everything's right. The chat, boom, 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 boom. I would be too tired for all of that, Like I said, I'm sitting here just having a convo, so it's great. But like I said, I would be exhausted. And we have many times like that where we just don't want to do a podcast. But I try to always put on the show because, like I say, if there's like 2 people watching, let's give those 2 people a show. Let's do it. And I always try to, wake up on the show and get the crusty A's out of your eye, get it going. Jack is like my, like I said, we are the dating couple, compared to the Zombroz married couple. We're still crazy. Jack is, like we always say, he's my co-pilot. I'm the pilot. He always combats off stuff. I think the podcast is like my little baby. It's like it's my thing I always nurture.
Yeah, it's as you were saying, like about being host. You're the one driving the pilot seat, and I completely get that. But the weird thing is that, like, me being the host of this show, obviously not for today. Carl's the host for today. But in the long run, me being the host for today, it actually didn't start out like that. It was because this show was Spike's idea, and it was a joint thing, and then gradually, for some reason, I was leaned into the host role, and then like you know, we've had the ups, we've had the downs, you know, we've had the zigzags and all that sort of stuff. And I look at where we are now, and you know what, this format, it works, and I absolutely love being the host. I love being in the driver's seat. I love steering it. And it's nice when I can give these guys a couple of like things to do as well. Like Kyle normally asks all the guest questions and stuff like that. And then Spike's normally the one to read out the topic time. And it's just doing a podcast. It's great for building up your public speaking, and that's what Reed said to me and Spike when we told him about it. He was just like, it builds up your public speaking skills, and it does.
It really does.
It really does.
That's why I always say to my mom and dad, I'm like, this is also, if you look about it like this way, I am having such an advantage when I start doing, because like right now, stand-up comedy, just in general in the world, is shut down because of the virus. However, in, you know, comedy clubs, you need to be 21 and over to enter the comedy club because they have their liquor license and stuff. And every time I show my face, I always show your ID, blah, blah, same answer, get the hell out of here. That's what I get all the time. I got to do comedy at colleges and like little parties and shit. And I say to my parents so many times, this channel and having a podcast, being a YouTuber for so many years and growing as a creator and as an entertainer for about 6, 7, 8 years, it gives me such a big advantage. Like the first time I hopped on stage, did my first ever open mic, I honestly felt so more comfortable than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because I'm so comfortable talking out loud to people right here, even though they're not actually here, and it is a big difference when they actually are there and when you're talking through a mic and a camera. However, the words still flowed, and it still wasn't like a hiccupy thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I completely understand that.
Yeah, but that's pretty wild. I'm sure going from like this to in front of everybody, and then, like I said, being in the moment. I mean, I guess at that point you almost just get in the zone, you know?
Yeah, right when I got on stage, and think about it. Like I said, I have to do stand up until I'm 21, which will be in this September. I'm turning 20, so I have like pretty much one more year till I get to do that. It's like I have to do it in colleges. So I'm doing stand up to college students that are already depressed, that already don't want to hear comedy. So you want to think you think I'm doing good up there? No. So at the end of the day, it's still bad. But it's like at the end of the day, you're like, okay, as long as I didn't like hiccup my words and stuff, and I wasn't embarrassed up there, I was still comfortable. What was coming out of my mouth wasn't good, but how I was up there was good. So that I always say to myself, I'm like, I'm getting also so much more experience than any other first timer that goes up there on stage. I'm gaining so much more experience.
Yeah,
I can Turbo go.
Sorry, go.
So you can go to the colleges, make a little, make it a zombie comedy little sketch.
Zombie reference, yeah.
What the fuck is this guy?
I make a zombies reference. He's meaner than Rick Toffin. Who?
Just see them slide to their heads. What the fuck is this guy?
Throwing books at me. Get off the stage.
It's like, what do you call? What's the difference between VO4 and VO3? No joke.
Cool. Why did I laugh at that? That was so bad.
I know, right? I mean, I don't know. You're better at this than me, Turbo. You could think of something just not even thinking.
I mean, to be honest with you, I have like 4 bits that one of them works and 3 of them still needs work. But what you call it? That's also one thing people get misconceived about me. They think that I'm like very, even though like what I say like random on stream, that's fast and stuff. But actual comedy, it takes like when people go, "Hey, tell me a joke." It is so much more than a knock joke, my friend. You need it's funny. But like I said, this YouTube thing, like it does, like even writing jokes, like if Jack don't laugh to one of my jokes in the podcast, that's a little click in my head. Okay, that wasn't funny. Okay, don't do that again. Okay, so the podcast too. Like I say, how the podcast is also my therapy. The podcast is also my training, is my practice time.
Yeah.
For some of my material. If it makes Jack laugh, okay, there's something there. Write that down.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to ask her, bro. I mean, assume your podcast, like many, like even ours, we know what we're going to talk about. Jack fills us in.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But I mean, your podcast mostly is like just you're throwing it out. You know what I mean? Like,
So,
of course, you don't script it. I mean,
no,
obviously,
so I got the book right here. So pretty much this is so I got this book to kind of organize the podcast more. This book I started on episode 52, Happy 420. That was the episode. Episode 52 when it was on 420, and I started on episode 52. And I started doing like pretty much this is a pretty good example. That's how I would format it. Just like the topics underlined, some short bullet points underneath it. That's it, done. And I would do it this organized for a long time. Like I would do just very like I would write the Mad Libs down there. I would just write some short bullet points up here. Some just bullet. Pretty much, I would organize. Like you said, I wouldn't script what we would say. I would just always organize what we were to talk about, like the topics itself. I would always organize exactly what the topics were and the rhythm of it, and then we ramble, then we go off, then we just do our own thing. And to talk about this aspect, there is forever in my head will forever be the craziest I ever went with organizing a podcast, and you guys can understand why. It was when I did the biggest Zombies podcast ever.
Yes.
We had the biggest Zombies podcast ever, where it was Rad Austin 27. It was me, myself and Jack the Bus, plus Johnny, Tim Hansen, Greg FPS, Rad Austin 27, Johnny J 25, Mr. T Lexify,
MC Sport Talk,
and that's it. And Sport Talk, and it was, I think it was like 9 people on screen, 9 people in the podcast. So you see these boxes right here. There was many more boxes.
I can imagine
on that fucking screen. So I did the biggest Zombies podcast ever. That was episode 70. And you want to see how color coordinated and detailed this page is?
Holy fuck!
You have to see how intricate this page is for that Zombies podcast. It just keeps going. It's a never ending. And because I had to make sure on that podcast, there's 9 people, 9 YouTubers, 9 personalities.
Yep.
So many topics, so little time.
Yep.
Because I don't want to make them sit there for 3 hours. I don't want it to be a short podcast thinking I was rushing it. I think it was like I think it was like an hour 32, an hour 22, whatever it was. And that podcast really was a lesson and a learning moment for me at that point as an interviewer and as like a reporter, pretty much, to kind of this page is literally like a lake. Like this page, I write topics that I leak into this person. I write, ask Greg this, X Matt that, make Johnny reply to this, X read this, make MC Sport Talk back up what Reed, not back up, like what piggyback off what Reed said. So many things to also not have anybody just sitting there for a long time, not saying stuff, always being active, always saying things. That podcast was the only podcast I had a legit panic attack for. I swear to God.
Wow.
I had, before the podcast started, I was like this at my desk. I was like,
yeah.
And my heart was going do. And I was like, okay, all right, here we go. All righty, here we go. 3, 2. And when I tell you the nerves I had, but then like I think we said it before on the podcast, where literally you're in the zone. In the first 5 minutes, you're in the zone, and that's it. You're there. And the whole time I was going. Half the stuff on this page, some of them I just didn't even look at because you're just so in the flow. And the things you think is going to happen don't even happen. The things you want to bring up, sometimes you forget and you punch yourself for it. And that was the biggest learning experience for me on that. But so like I was to bring back what you initially asked is, no, the podcast isn't scripted like you said. However, I used to organize it so much like this. But however, if you see, that was episode 70. We're on episode 110 now. If you look at how short the pages have gotten, look how short the pages have gotten now. Wow. That was episode 105 we just did. And now, literally, I think starting from a month ago, I pretty much said, you know what? Let's just wake up. I'll tell Jack I'll pretty much tell him this. All right, Jack, we got the PS5 event. No Call of Duty trailer for a while. Charlie Intel told us. Coronavirus update. What's going on with everybody? How's it going on with you? Blah blah blah. Zombroz shutting down. Reed's leaving. Talk about that for a little bit. All right, ready? Go. All right, done. That's it. And now we go. So that's pretty much how the podcast works now.
Yeah, I've got to ask, like, with because the that the biggest zombie podcast ever. I've watched that probably. I want to say at least 5 times now, all the way through.
Wow.
Like at least 5 times. And
thank you.
The bit that still makes me chuckle to this day was all the shit Reed was getting on Twitter for, like, you know, how much he was promoting the posters. And what's the first thing you do on the episode? You're just like, so Reed, how about them posters? Like,
yep, that's it. That's how I started. And you know what's so funny too? I even said to myself, like, why would I say that? Why would I start it out like that? Like, why would I give him such a hard time in the beginning? But at the same time, he was the one Johnny J was the one saying use code JJ25.
He's just like, that's not propaganda.
That's it. Yeah, I'm very happy you enjoy that though, because like I said, you always gotta take. There's one thing I know about YouTube and just in general now with even podcasts, you gotta take risk.
Yes.
Everything you do. If you don't take risk, you don't know how far you can go, and you really don't. Like Jack was the one who brought up the idea of the biggest zombie podcast ever. I thought we were too early. I thought we were not ready for it. I thought I wasn't ready for it. I thought I wasn't good enough an interviewer or a podcaster to do it. And Jack was like, Turbo, we had on Reed. I mean, we had on Lex already, so we already know him. Johnny holds the record for the most reoccurring guest with, like, I think 15 guest appearances.
Wow.
Yeah.
We already had on Greg for a long time. Greg was like the first big guest we ever had on the show. We had Tim Hansen. I know Tim Hansen. You know, we talked for like a few. We probably played like 2 games only at that moment when I talked to him on that podcast. And but it was so Jack was like, Turbo, let's just do it. Let's try to use this as a final, like, goodbye to zombies, because Tog the Totem just got solved. Like, the Easter egg just got solved for Tog. And I was like, Jack, I was like, if you give me the green light and you let me run with this and you give me time, like I took a week to prep for that. I said, you give me time, I'll be there, I'll do it. And I just simply said to him, I was like, all right, we'll do it. Let's plan it. And you know what was the craziest part of that was getting the guest. So now I told Jack, if we're going to do something like this, you know me, if we're going to do something and I'm involved, I'm making it, I'm going big or go home. That's it. Go big or go home. If my name's attached to something, it's not going to be a little, okay, there it is. No, we're building it like the merch. We're building it up. We're making it something big. We're making it an event. That's it. Done. Because that leaves the most impact. And I told Jack, who we asking? So plus Johnny, it's funny because a lot of people are like, who's that plus Johnny kid? Because everybody on the screens know.
Yeah, I remember that.
We bust Johnny's balls now because he doesn't post. But I wanted John on the show because 1, I'm a good fucking friend. And 2, I'm like, you know what? Johnny needs some inspiration to know, like, he still has opportunities to do stuff, you know? And I wanted to give him that platform. So there was plus Johnny, he was an already yes. Tim Hansen, he was a nice yes, easy yes. Greg of PS, easy yes. Now we knew MC Sport Talk, MC Sport Talk, he was later on. Now we knew asking Lex, because we had Lex on the podcast before. We had him on one time before. Yeah. We asked Lex, would you like to be on? We're trying to put together the biggest Zombies podcast ever. The thing I wanted to say before was go big or go home. I told Jack, let's try to make this the biggest Zombies podcast ever. So he said, sure, no problem. We try to look up how many podcasts there were with multiple people. I think the most people that were on the podcast before was like 5, but like one of the persons was like the narrator. He wasn't even like a YouTuber. So we were like, okay, we can try to do this. 9 people I think 8 people were never done before. So 9 people were on the screen and we were like, all right, fine. We gotta target 9. So we had on, so then Lex we asked, and we knew once we get the yes from Lex, and we get to ask other YouTubers, we already have these people, and if they see they already have Lex on, they'll be more intrigued to come on the show. So we asked Lex. He said yes. I was like, boom, great, done. We got Lex. Then we were like, how can we get this? And now it's me, Jack, plus Johnny, Tim Hansen. With me, Jack, plus Johnny, Tim Hansen, Greg FPS. So that's 5. Then we have so then we had who else? So, the MC Sport Talk. MC Sport Talk, we asked him, we had Lex on, he came on the show. We have MC Sport Talk. Now we have 2 people left. We're like, okay, wait a minute. What if this Biggest Zombies podcast also becomes a Zombroz III crossover? So what if the big Zombroz III crossover memes that were always said, what if it becomes reality? We give the roster of who we already have on to Johnny, Jay, and Reed. They say yes. Boom. We got a podcast. That was the craziest part. Getting people to fucking say yes to the show. That was the craziest part.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying before with like taking risks. If you don't take risks, then you never know like what's going to happen. And quite frankly, I myself, I took a risk asking Reed to do the Avengers Endgame review with me and a friend, and he was totally up for it. And I'm just like, wow, that actually really paid off. And then I'm also like, I can't say who, I can't say specifics. But there are a few people, big guys, that we have approached to come on the podcast, and they've both been interested, and they've both wanted to come on, and so it is a matter of taking the it was kind of allocated, so I did one and then Kyle did the other one, but even asking you, even getting Kyle to ask you to come on, to me, that is a risk, because you I know you say you're not a big name.
That's an instant yes, though. That's an instant yes.
But not to take away from the past, but when you came on before, but still, even you would just modded me, which I would do. You shocked the hell out of me, because when you got up, you're like, okay, Magna, Kyle, and then you call me Kyle. I was like, whoa, you Kyle. Dude, you know me at this point. You're like, dude.
I said it out loud yesterday. I said Kyle is the number one Twitter supporter on my Twitter. He retweets everything. He likes everything. He's the man. I love Kyle.
I love to mess with all y'all. Like I said, between you, Reed, and John, and even plus Johnny, as of late, dude. Plus Johnny dropped me a follow, dude.
There you go.
I commented on one of your streams, something funny about it. Posted all y'all, tagged you and Jack and Johnny, and I was like, whoa, what the hell, But yeah, even asking you, like Jack said, dude, it's like,
Kyle, I don't know why I'm not following you. Boom, done, followed, done. I don't know why the hell I'm not following you.
That's simple, Kyle. It's that simple.
Wow.
I don't know why I'm not following you. That's it. Am I following the Mad Lobster? I am. That's it. I'm following the Mad Lobster. I'm not following Kyle. What's happened?
Toby, you've been following me for a long time.
I know. Why the hell am I fuck Kyle? My apologies.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, man, I never expected, but that's so much.
Kyle, I've got to say, dude, you said you were absolutely shocked when Turbo modded you, because you look to him as an idol, don't you? You look to him as an idol.
Look, he just out of nowhere just stopped what he's doing, got up, was like crazy Turbo, and I'm like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna invite me into the damn stream to play with him or something? I was like, I'm freaked out. I don't know. I'm like, what's he gonna do?
I got that exact same feeling. That exact same what when Reed modded me, I got the
same feeling when Reed said my name in his stream during the beginning of BO3. That made me want to make this E4C videos on Twitter. You see, that initial spark of those little mementos that will always be the start of your path you take. And it's so crazy how when Reed said, "Hey, AR Turbo," and I was like,
exactly. That's how it was.
Not even a mod, not even nothing. I was like, and when he did mod me,
it's nuts.
What?
It's absolutely nuts, and I think also because you are not expecting it at all. You just you're in the chat as just you're someone who's there, and you're chatting along and everything. And when they drop the spanner on you, literally the spanner, it's an absolutely it's a feeling like no other. And you're just thinking, wow, thank you so much.
Yep.
And that's all you can say.
Yeah, it's like me.
I wanted to say that when Turbo said that like how he had so many people on that one episode, and then approached Reed and John, they were more inclined because they had, you had so many other people on. So like, oh yeah, sure. So like now that we've had you on twice now, when we approach people, they're probably gonna be more inclined. Like, we know Turbo, he's a good buddy, and all that kind of stuff.
And then that's pretty much like them vouching for the person and them vouching for the podcast and having them be on the podcast. That's the same thing as saying I vouch for. Go on the podcast. I vouch for them. They're a great show.
Exactly.
Same thing. So that exactly. So exactly. So use me, please use me. I want you guys to get guests. Yes, please.
Well, honestly, Turbo,
I like you. Use me, baby. Use me.
Honestly, Turbo, like I gotta say this, like there's one guy that I know I want to approach to come on the show as a guest. Again, I can't say who because we want it to be a surprise. But we actually plan, when I approach this guy, we actually plan on using you and another guest as kind of like the point of like saying we're not just like, we're not just fanboys asking you to come on, like, we take this podcast seriously. We asking these people, and it's like, I mean, I suppose it's kind of like when you first asked Lex to come on your podcast.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, no, what'd you call it? That was I'll give you 3 examples. Lex, like you said, Lex was a what the hell moment, because Lex, here's the thing. At ZWC2, I asked Lex if he would want to come on the podcast at one point. He said, of course. However, I'm a realistic person. I can understand also when you're in the moment, people say things they want to say in the moment. So I knew in the back of my head, take everything with a grain of salt at everything anybody says at that event. So if they say, oh, we're going to keep talking when we come back home. Yeah, we're going to keep talking. I understand life. I know that may not happen. If they go and say, oh, we're going to collab, we're going to make these, oh my God. In my head, I know they may not happen. I'm a realistic person. I've gone through shit in life that everything ain't cupcakes and rainbows, so it's not gonna always happen that way.
Yeah.
So when I went there and Lex was like, "Sure, we're gonna work." Yeah. Oh my God. I gotta honestly say, everyone at that event was truthful, honest. They were great people, and they kept. I was just playing with Dalek, Pizza, and Chopper in their stream the other day. We all kept in touch. We all kept in touch since then. And I gotta say that was awesome. I never expected that whatsoever from that trip. But yeah, and I asked Lex and he said yes in the first DM. I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy shit. Like that's amazing. And then that was my first whole, oh my God. But I gotta be very honest with you. Like I said, I'll give you 3 examples. The second one, Greg FPS, I mentioned before. He was the first person we asked that was like, Greg FPS, he's an established YouTuber. He's the person we wanted on the show. We were, episode, 6, 7. I don't know, maybe episode 10 when we asked Greg. And I remember because it was World War II multiplayer, I think World War II beta gameplay on the screen at the time. We weren't even face cams. And I asked Greg, and he said yes. Because Greg, I gotta be honest with you, Greg is the greatest fucking guy you will ever meet in your life. He is such a nice person, Greg. He will help anybody, any young person now starting. He helps a ton of people. Anytime I need transit gameplay, he's the man I go to. So shout out Greg. He's my transit plug. But what do you call it? Asking Greg, and then also asking Pack-a-Puncher, who came on the show.
Really?
When Pack-a-Puncher came on the podcast, after his crucial volcano scam that was going on in Fortnite. Remember that volcano event that was going on in Fortnite? And his streams were very clickbaity and very, hey, like this volcano event's going to happen, but then it's not. Like pretty much all Fortnite events, pretty much. And I told Jack, Jack, if we want to be like an established podcast ourselves, and we want to be like that place people go to hear real shit, we need Pack on this fucking show, and we need to talk about what's going on realistically, not sugarcoating anything. Like, Pack, we understand your no, we wanted to go at it. And I met Pack at ZWC too, so we had a relationship. We met, we talked, we chatted, and that was it. And then that was the third example where having Pack, where I thought initially he's gonna read a DM. One, he's not going to answer it because he's going to see that it's a podcast. He's going to understand what we're going to want to talk about. Yeah. He's not going to want to be this rate. He's not going to want to be in that situation. How do we get him on the show? First DM, he said yes. I'm like,
Wow.
That will forever be, because Jack said it on the 100th episode. Jack said that was his favorite podcast. And after the Smith Plays one, he changed his mind. But before the Smith Plays, Pack was the best podcast he said we had, because we kept it so raw, we kept it so real, and we talked about like the truth. And we talked about how he made people like I remember the one line I said, but I was like, but Pack, but the way you talk about yourself and the way you come across and the way you just look, it's like, I'm gonna tell you from the outside looking in, it's not great. Like, it's not good. And I remember Jack getting back on the conversation, and Pack a Puncher defending himself. And me and Jack both said we saw another side of Seth that day on the show. And asking people and just like that. That's another thing with the risk. You gotta take those risks. You never know if they're gonna answer, but guess what? You just DM them. You just do it. It's just it's crazy.
The funny thing was though that I in terms of like asking Reed to do that endgame review with me and my mate, I didn't DM him actually. It was during one of his open lobbies. I said to him, "Hey, Reed, would you mind if we had a one-on-one talk after the show?" And he's just like, "Yeah, of course, no problem at all." And like, even just in that moment of like speaking to him one-on-one, it was so nice. And honestly, you really got to see how much of such a cool guy he is. And when he turned around and said, "Yeah, that'd be fun," I was just like,
"Yeah,
okay." And I was so giddy that I messaged so many people, and I said to them, "Dude, Reed said yes," and they're just like, "What?" It's amazing, like. And it's quite unfortunate though, because at one point I wanted to get Reed on this podcast, but now with obviously the journey that he's taking, him wanting to step away from zombies, I don't want to drag him back into it, and so therefore, which is it's a shame. Maybe when the next game comes around, if he's enjoying it, I might approach him and ask him.
I still told Reed he should just start a regular podcast. Yeah. I told Reed, just start a podcast. Do a solo one. I know he's not going to want to put in the effort and the energy to have a co-host one and get things going again, but just start a solo one. Mm-hmm. Ramble for the people that would do anything to watch you. Yeah. Just all your loyal fans, just do a solo one, even if it's audio only, just to make sure we know you're still alive, like just something fun like that. But, he has other plans, and who knows exactly, who the hell knows if this next game is great. Not even just Reed, a lot of people is going to be coming back and get into stuff. So,
yeah,
who the hell knows? Honestly, I have a weird feeling that this community is going to be flipped upside down when this next game comes out, this next Zombies game. I have a weird feeling. Feeling the Zombies community is going to be changing a lot. I don't know.
You reckon?
Anything can happen, but at the same time, if Treyarch really learned from their mistakes, and the game is a success, and the amount of YouTubers that left, and now they're coming back, and if they start some shit and they get little, I don't know, it's a lot of stuff may start, and I don't know. I have a weird feeling. However, though, the feeling I do want to be real, though, is having this game be good. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's like exactly what I've been telling like Jack and Spike and just other people. I've been like, man, I feel like right now Lex has just come out of nowhere. And it feels like he's really leading the charge, along with you and Tim and all of y'all too. I mean, because to be honest, like y'all are right there neck and neck, just leading the community. I mean, if it was not for all of you playing BO3, bringing BO3.
Oh no, yeah,
bringing back BO3 to the forefront now. It sounds crazy, but it's like with customs and everything.
It goes to show how good the game was, really,
dude. Yeah, the way and you're creative. You're not gonna just play the game. Be like, oh, we're gonna do the same old. No.
Yeah, no. I love the DMs and I love the messages I get when I hear people getting back into zombies.
Yeah.
Due to the fact of the Last Man Standing series, and the Last Man Standing series really brought people back into the game mode and itself, and that's great because it gives people more things to play and it's fun. And I definitely gotta say that. But also Tim Hansen, man, Tim fucking Hansen, he is just like that god that came out of nowhere, and then just it's really one of those beauties that YouTube pretty much created. Like the way Tim Hansen really grew from the algorithm and how Zombies content really pushed his channel on YouTube. The algorithm gods took Tim Hansen and made him to be this big YouTuber. And to be honest with you, he's a big reason. Big reason. And I know there was a Smith Plays video that there was controversy over when Pat even said that Tim Hansen brought back this community, because then there was some other small YouTubers saying, but wait, we're over here, we're doing this stuff. But when you're not attracting the numbers Tim's are, you're not getting noticed. So no one's going to notice what the stuff you're doing. So Tim Hansen, just in general, our Last Man Standing series, and making the Last Man Standing series be more than a series and have more than just the gameplay, because pretty much our commentary is what pretty much makes the series, not the gameplay itself. So it's really just like a great way to bring back entertaining content instead of Zombies content being all serious all the time, how it was for years and months.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that segues perfectly into the two actually series that I'll personally have been my favorite as of recently, which is Last Man Standing as well as Lust for Rush. So
Lust for Rush,
dude, just give us like, I mean, you can break down the one and then the other, but like Last Man Standing. Anybody that doesn't know,
I'm really intrigued to know, like, what started the whole Last Man Standing thing.
All the ins and outs, yeah.
So I'll start with Last Man Standing. So Last Man Standing started pretty much me. So Lex approached me and Tim Hansen to start playing custom zombies, because that's when, like you said, Kyle, that's when Lex pretty much in the not the beginning, pretty much like I said, my life changed when the ball dropped and 2020 started. So pretty much like early January, probably maybe a little bit late December. Lex DMs me and Tim saying, actually DMs Tim first, saying he would love to start making Zombies content again, but fun content while playing with friends and not making the gameplay be the focus. So he said, I would love to have you involved, to Tim, and he said, I would also love Turbo involved. And then Tim DM'd me saying, hey, Lex and X for you and me to just play with him a couple of days a week and just to record some videos. If they're funny, we post them. If they're not, we scrap them. That's it. So we started doing that. If you go back in the channel, that's when I started doing vlogs. I started doing more IRL content. I wanted to do more crazy things before the world stopped. And when that stuff actually happened, I remember Tim coming up to us one day saying, okay, are we going to record this day? Blah, blah, blah. We're going to record. We weren't recording one week, so Tim was like, all right, fine, I'll just try to think of something. So Tim was like, how about this? I'm going to have MJPW make me a map, because he used to make maps just randomly. I'm going to make us a map where it's kind of like we're all in jail in like four corners.
Yeah.
And zombies spawn in, and the Last Man Standing wins. And I thought that was a great idea, because I still am getting tired of zombies, and, especially yesterday, just tired of zombies. And the typical round 20 box, blah, 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 blah. That's a different pace. I was like, okay, I like that. That's a different change of pace and things. I really like this style of format. So I go and I get into the lobby. I'm thinking it's just gonna be a map where it's whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. And then he asks us for pictures of our faces, because we're going to be in the map. So I'm just thinking it's a fun map. We're going to record one day. It's going to be one good video. It's going to be, I'm in a custom zombies map. And that one video and that one game mode, we enjoyed so much. And Tim was like, how about we do all the gun classes? And we were like, yeah, let's make it a series. And the Last Man Standing became a series. And then we wanted to do a season 2. And then that is when I took the reins, and not took the reins of the series, but I took the reins in the fact of telling Tim and Lex and Rabbit of, okay, I see where the series is. We all see where the series is. Pretty much every Last Man Standing Tim posted of season 1 and the premiere of season 2, all were trending on YouTube gaming. They were all trending, and I told Tim, I said, if we're going to make this a series now, like more and more seasons, I want to kind of establish that, like our group and our camaraderie and our personalities, because I want the viewers to see that. So that's when I wrote the script for the I don't know if you remember the little skit in the beginning of the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, I remember that.
Skit when we're on the 4-way phone call. I wrote that script. I wrote the script I was like, I told them, I was like, I'm gonna write. I told them, I said, I'm gonna write us an intro skit. I said, you guys are gonna act it, and you guys are gonna do it. I said, I'm telling you guys, I'm forcing you to act in a skit because this is gonna be funny. And it fucking a lot of people loved it. That's what also inspired me to do the Maxis skit where Maxis called me. But yeah, no, I just so that's how Last Man Standing started, and then we kept going from there. Lust for Rush now is a series I do on my channel only. It's my own series, and I do it with my friend Talum. He's another Zombies YouTuber. Talum, great kid, great person. I say kid, he's old. I forget he's older than me. He's in his 20s. Wow. He's a great YouTuber. Yeah, I know, right? I know.
He was so young.
I know. He told me he was older than me. I was like, what? I thought you were my age, you maybe even younger.
But he's like me.
Yes.
Too young.
Dude, I was like, what? But yeah, so I actually bit more than I can chew with Lust for Rush because I forgot that, okay, if you're gonna do one video a week and there's 8 maps in BO4, that's a 2-month series I'm signing up for. So all the other series I was doing, like the reacting to my first ever gameplays, the just simple zombie videos I was doing, I was like, I really can't fit that in because now if I have to fit in Last Man Standing, the podcast, that video, I like to leave in little gaps for people to like watch. They missed it. So yeah. I was like, what do I do? So Lust for Rush has been fun. I gotta be very honest with you. I'm happy you enjoy it. I'm happy a lot of people are enjoying it.
It's fantastic.
If you see on my channel though, statistically it's doing great. However, for other videos, it's actually doing worse than the others because it's fucking BO4 Zombies. I learned from this Lust for Rush series that you can try to make BO4 Zombies fun as many times as you want or as however you do it. The game itself, though, is not entertaining for people. The game is, somehow it is, but for me, I told Talum, I said, after this series, I am never touching BO4 Zombies again. I think this is the first time I started touching BO4 after Tog the Totem. I said, Talum, I said, I ain't playing BO4 again. But that was like a fun little series. I just started because I said to myself, I want to just do something. I want to try because I feel like I didn't give it a shot during BO4. I said to myself, I want to try to make BO4 content fun. I want to try. So I did. Some episodes really fun. Some episodes I have mixed feelings on. However, it came across bro to some people. It gets about like 2,000 views a video, and I gotta say it's good. I gotta say it's nice. It's ending this week. Final episode this week.
Oh no, dude! Honestly, I didn't think it could get any better than Last Man Standing. And then you come out
really,
Rush. Dude, Lust for Rush. I'm like, I started watching because I didn't know who Talent. See, that's what's so great, dude. You and just like Reed and everyone else, I literally piggyback from one to the other when they do collabs or they don't do collabs.
And I'm so happy you're saying that because I picked Talon for that series for a reason because I said to myself, someone needs to acknowledge this kid and this person and who he is as a creator because he doesn't get enough acknowledgement. That's why I really wanted to collab with him. I wanted to give him that more audience to watch him.
But yeah, dude, it's like I thought, man, there's no way you can get better than that. Then I come home, that's like I said, literally every time I come home from work, it's like that's what I come home and I pull up, my YouTube on my Xbox and watch the Lust for Us because y'all are just like a perfect. You're so funny because you're like that crazy personality along with Talon, who's this kind of like quirky, kind of.
Yeah, he's very quiet. However, he like you saw in the previous episodes, he started getting a little feisty towards me.
Yeah.
So he's very like you gotta watch out for him. He's quiet. He's silent but deadly. That's what Talon is. Silent but deadly.
Damn.
Dude, oh man, like I said to her, I can't say it enough, and I know Reed has said this a million times too. I feel the same way like he does, dude. You just keep me cracking up.
Thank you, man.
Anything you do, please keep doing these like series. Like, think of something else.
Hey, man. After this last series, I'm still continuing the reacting to my. I think the next one I have to do is I'm reacting to my first ever Horizon game I played. So that's what so that series I'm still doing, and And you know, and after this, after the Lust for Rush, and then after this merch is done, and I have a clear head now of everything I want to do content wise, because everything with like the merch and Last Man Standing season 2 starting, getting the posters and stuff. I had a ton of stuff outside of content that I was working on, and now for that all to finally be out there, gladly out there for people to see and buy and purchase and enjoy. That's all out there now. Lust for Rush is ending, so now I'm gonna have an extra clear head for all my content only. And I really think going forward, like skits are gonna come back. Like I think I want to do a lot more skits. Like the Max is calling me. I want to do a lot more skits like that. Yeah, I want to do a lot more IRL stuff for the podcast. I want to do another summer blockbuster. I don't know if you remember when I went to Coney Island and Jack went to his park, the summer blockbuster episode. Yes. I want to do another one of that this year, like this summer. So I want to try to, get into a hazmat suit and go outside and do a summer blockbuster. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely maybe what you call another zombie series like Lust for Rush will happen, but if it doesn't, definitely more crazy zombies content just in general crazy content to come, honestly.
Yep. But that's like with Lust for Rush, how long does it, had you been sitting back for months, let's say, watching Talum, and then you get to a point where you're just like one day like, man, I'm thinking like with his abilities and his personality and my abilities, my personality and my content and his content, if we meshed it and we made this, like, how does that come about? Like how
so yeah, he actually started popping off when Tiger Totem was out, and he was the one to actually sit through games and get each character voiceover and get all the character voices, and the one reads we're using for his videos he got from him. So that's when I started watching his videos, Talum. And then I subscribed to him, and then literally you guys will learn this eventually when you guys get more and more deep into guests and stuff, because you'll understand how you'll always have people in the back of your head as a back burner. Yeah. Like, okay, if we can't have that guest, we'll have him. If we can't have that guy, we'll have him. Talon was another one of those guys where I just kept in the back of my head. I was like, okay. And same thing. I said randomly one day I was on my desk. I was like, I want to try to make a fun, entertaining BO4 series. I don't think I gave it a shot during BO4 cycle because BO4 pretty much was flopping throughout the whole entire cycle.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah, and I remember saying to myself, who do I want to do it with? Because I already had in my head the vision of 2 cameras on screen, gameplay, blah, blah, blah. So I said to myself, okay, who do I want to do it with? Plus Johnny, I love him, but let me change up a bit. Let me try to give someone else a chance. I said Jack the Boss, he ain't playing zombies that much. I said Tim Hansen, I don't want to have the Last Man Standing people be involved because I want to be different. So I said, you know what? I said, tell him. That's a perfect choice. I said, I know he has PS4, BO4. Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's just like with Tim and Plus Johnny now. Dude,
yeah,
I love their
gauntlets. Tim was like, yeah, I'm kind of going your direction. I'm doing the gauntlets. I'm like, dude, the gauntlet. I said, that's why I didn't pick the gauntlets. I said, I didn't want to do it. I said, I picked Rush.
But dude, I know, but it's like, dude, Tim and Johnny, man, they're like the perfect duo for
Johnny's just the man. Johnny is just the fucking man. I love Johnny. I was just in Johnny's last video, and the whole video I kept memeing. I was like, tell Johnny to post more. Tell Johnny to post more. Tell Johnny to fucking post more. Please tell Johnny to post more. Because this dude needs to wake up. I don't know what he's doing, man.
That's why I bust his balls in yours.
Yes.
Or in your chat that one time I asked you, and you read it off real quick. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
With Johnny. We don't know. He's just.
I don't know.
He's a great guy too. And I'd love
really
to.
Great.
I need to watch his channel a lot more, and I hope he'll continue to post stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Right.
Let me see, Jack.
Now, Carl, do you want to get into topic time?
Yeah, because really, yeah.
Topic time.
Okay, right.
Basically fit in with all that.
So I'm presuming because I'm the co-host. I'm presuming because I'm the co-host. I'm reading these out because I would love to actually. To be fair.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Rip.
Not gonna lie, being a co-host. It's kind of weird. Oh yeah, by the way, Spike, he was having major phone issues, and so his phone just literally could not keep up with the whole thing. So he had to.
Spike, we love you. You're here in spirit.
Okay, so double time.
Tea time.
So, Man Pete asks, can we talk about the whole remastered Die Rise thing? Why? Just why?
Oh boy, I wish Johnny J25 would have ended my 12-hour stream yesterday. He DM'd me this morning. He said he fell asleep at 11. But I was gonna talk to him about Die Rise Remastered. I mean, hey, listen, it's a thing Johnny J wants to do. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a good chance we're gonna see in the next game. But I mean, I believe all those Zombies Chronicles 2 maps, I think they're already done. We were supposed to get them in BO4, but that game sucks, so they held it. So I mean, hey, I think it may happen. Will the billboard happen? I hope it does. That'll be the funniest shit ever. But yeah, no, I think it's the biggest Zombies meme at this point in time. That's what it is.
It's a meme, but yet Johnny J is making it a reality.
And that's why I love Johnny J.
This whole campaign thing is it's remarkable, the amount of effort and just everything that he's putting into it. Like the fact that he's actually getting closer and closer to making this billboard actually happen.
He's insane.
Like, and I'm pretty sure he even said to like someone like Matt, it was just like, come over, we're actually going to drive by the billboard and see it. I was just like,
let's do it. I'll be down to do a little road trip for the billboard.
Oh mate, that'd be amazing.
That's why I say, like, I take no credit, but I'm telling you, I gave John on Zombroz, as I usually do. I submit a topic time, and I told him. And I was just joking around. I wasn't giving like a billboard idea, but I told him, like, dude, wouldn't it be awesome if they remake Die Rise and they have, instead of the dragon, they have your big face just smiling like a meme face.
That would be the goal.
He read it off. He was getting really excited. Then reads like, then they go off on a whole tangent, a diatribe of remastered Die Rise, and literally I watched.
So are you saying you are the cause of remastered Die Rise?
I don't want to say that.
Johnny J may have some issues with that. He may have some. I'm the leader of this pack type of vibe.
Well, yeah, I can't say too much, but but no. But then they go off.
That's funny though. That's crazy.
And Reed's like, no, yeah, you should totally do it. Well, who gives a fuck?
Oh my god.
Who gives a fuck? Now Johnny cannot talk about anything else, and Reed's just like, oh my god, just stop.
Yeah, really.
And then literally John in that episode is just like all the possibilities you can see is running in his head, and he's speaking as if, what if one day I do this? And I come back and I think, John, wow, you finally stop being lazy. You got your ass up. You're almost there. He's like, I think 3,000.
He has to get 5,000, I think, or something.
It's close, dude. It's like 3,000 something.
It is close. It's getting there. Real.
I'm in the Discord. That Discord blew up. He didn't expect, but there's like almost 300 people in it, I think. In that campaign billboard.
That's nuts.
There you go.
So yeah, John.
Yeah.
If you're here, I know you're in here. I know you're somewhere.
Yeah, we wish.
Get that damn billboard up, John. Get it up, sir.
Okay. Next one is from. Well, I mean, Dan was saying talk about the whole concept art that got leaked for MW Zombies.
Oh yeah.
It's a leak, so I haven't really seen it, and I've seen a little bit of it. I didn't really see it either. But if anything, I'd probably say it's like probably a teaser for the next COD, because it's meant to link into Warzone, isn't it? So, like that would be my guess. Anyway.
Is this some glitching queen shit?
This is no, this is actually Charlie Intel.
Whose watermark is on it this time?
No watermark, which is interesting.
Yeah, is this recent, like the past few days, or?
This is today.
Whoa!
Today,
well,
literally today.
Yeah, I need to see this then. Let me widen my browser here.
Wait a minute here.
Hang on.
Nothing's going crazy on my timeline, so it's nothing that crazy then.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, nothing. COD Modern Warfare. Wow, Glitching Queen actually made a video for it.
Not surprised there.
Yeah. Yep.
Some information surfaced today that showed the Modern Warfare Zombies mode that they were working on. Oh, it's about they were working on an early production.
Yeah.
It's for Modern Warfare Zombies. Oh, wow.
Which I'm presuming didn't
Look
happen
at
because they decided to go with
that.
Spec Ops in the end.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
But could this give us maybe a little insight as to what the Warzone Zombies is supposed to look like?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Because apparently that's a thing. Apparently Warzone Zombies is a thing.
Oh no, I think I did see that like early morning, like after during or after Turbo's stream when I saw something, but I didn't really read it.
Right, it doesn't give us much. It's more. It looks more like those like live action trailers that Trailer may put out. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Like, it could be
We
anything.
don't speculate here, chat. We're like them and John. You know, we don't speculate. I don't know. You know, I mean, yeah, you don't know.
Well, anyways, that's
Who knows at this point
there you go.
what the next game's gonna be?
Eastern asks, this section. He asks, how did Turbo Privilege start during Last Man Standing wins?
Oh boy.
The Turbo Privilege, man. Come on.
So Tim Privilege started on the LMG video when it was when I died the episode before with the sniper, and I was making jokes how Tim always gets away with crazy scenarios, and when Tim had a pee, left to go pee, came back to his game, and still managed to stay alive. That was the first thing of Tim Privilege, and we kept and
Wow.
that no one said Tim Privilege though. Then I remember that, of course, thought that was crazy. LMG video happened. Lex had for his first Widow's Wine crazy moment. No, his first Vulture Aid crazy moment where he's sitting in the Vulture's Aid, and the zombie that went out of his barrier to get someone else in the Vulture Aid went to me, and I didn't notice, so I wasn't looking behind me, and the zombie got me, and I was like, I was in front of my barrier. Rabbit was in front of his barrier. Tim wasn't, but it doesn't go to Tim. Tim Privilege. And I started Tim Privilege. Tim Privilege became a big thing. And then I got Widow's Wine. So season 2 started. I got Widow's Wine 3 times in a row.
Wow.
3 times
That
in a row I got Widow's Wine. And then the privilege has moved on to me, Turbo Privilege.
I know. I was so disappointed when I came home. I was like, okay, man, it's gonna be the 4th time.
Oh, baby.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, I got Electric Cherry. A little spoiler. I got Electric Cherry on the 4th episode. But my privilege, though, my Turbo Privilege is a nice privilege. Tim Privilege keeps it for himself. My privilege, I share my privilege with some people. My privilege is airborne. If you get it, you get your privilege too. You get a little bit of privilege. If I touch you, that's it. You get a little bit of privilege. That's it. I give it to people. Tim keeps it.
And now he's spreading it like cancer with t-shirts.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That was great. I saw that.
Okay, Top the Big Boom. This is actually a question for Turbo. What's it like playing with Tim Hansen, Crazy Rabbit, and obviously Mr. T Lexify?
Yeah, really.
Causes depression. No. I think well, first of all, they're all great guys. I love them all. They're really, really, really great close friends now. Rabbit, great guy. Love Rabbit. He's a character. He's a great character. I'm happy I got to know him. We'll know him in my life. He's a great, great guy. Lex, crazy as can be. Everybody asks me this all the time. I give the great answer. How is he in person? How is he like privately? He's the same person. He's crazy. He is the same. Tim Hansen, ordinary dude. He's a great dude, great person to work with. It's always great to work with them because they're creators too, and everything goes smoothly. Some things, of course, not, but the recording process, the production goes smoothly. Like glitches and stuff and recording, that's another thing. But actually recording, organizing, getting stuff done, they're all creators at the same level as I am of like, we don't mess around, we don't joke around, we want to get stuff done. They're the same way. We get stuff done. That's pretty much why we have a season 2 going, because we all have that mentality to keep things going. And yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
quite frankly, I was actually curious to know that as well, because like it obviously I would imagine, how different is it playing with those guys compared to playing with like your like everyday friends type scenario?
Yeah.
It's very different because one, when I'm playing with my ordinary friends, I'm playing casually. So I'm leaning back, I'm just enjoying the conversation, blah blah blah. When I'm playing with them, I'm always trying to make it entertaining. I'm always
Okay.
trying to never let the noise stop. You know, if we're playing with like, you know, just my friend stuff, how's the day going? No, it's good. Yeah, what did you do today? Oh, no, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm at the box. Oh, where are you? Jug? Blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's the conversation. When we're playing, we're recording a video. We're making content. So our relationship is usually business first. And then after we record, that's when we have our conversations. We mingle, blah, blah, blah. Or it's usually late night Discord calls, just chatting, blah blah blah.
Nice.
And so it's like that. So it's definitely more casually when I'm playing with my real life friends, and more serious, making things entertaining when I'm playing with them.
Wow, that's quite the difference.
That's like so nuts though. Like when you think about it, you get like the four. Like, how does it even work? The four craziest. I mean, Turbo, Crazy Rabbit, Lex, and Tim Hansen all together. I mean, that's like a super band, dude. That's like
I mean, it's really
comedian super band.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's like I always say, if there were to be a new generational Z House, it would definitely be me, Tim, Rabbit. I mean, of course, Lex would of course have to be in there now because he's still doing things. So of course, Lex would have to be there. So Lex brings the new old school factor of the Z House. Lex is like that old school Jedi where you go to him for history of just like your life. So like he's there to like if we're going out of line, Lex just steps in. When we had the Z House back in the day, this would never happen. Like he's just like that guy. He's like the dad to be like, we're losing our morals here, people. Just like, what are we doing?
And honestly, watching Lex, he would absolutely 100% turn up in a Jedi robe.
Oh yeah, he would. He would definitely would.
Yeah.
Naked, underneath naked. That's yes,
naked.
yes.
Yeah, I still love the story of when about when they went to Santa Monica and did all the crazy shit and the whole thing with the guy chasing him and on your podcast. You know,
on my podcast, that was
I dropped a
that was a great fucking story he told in my podcast. That was awesome. When he was doing that, like the free BJ.
Yeah, the free BJs.
Free BJ. He got chased by Dad and a couple people. Yeah,
that was I was like, wow.
I don't know why they never released the footage, but they should have.
Release it.
Release the contract.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be awesome.
But that actually covers it up for topic time. There's a few. There was some good questions. Quite a few for there was a few for Turbo.
Thank you.
But I think Carl, do you want to do the outro or do you want me to?
I'm starstruck, man. I'm freaking out here, man. Shoot. I guess I'll do it, Jack.
You'll do it. Okay. I give you the floor, good sir.
Okay. Let me see how I do this.
I just gotta say, thank you for wearing your Queen shirt today. You came prepared. You got the Queen shirt today.
Dude, I had to. I was like, my dad got me this because he bought the DVD, which I still haven't watched.
Ooh.
I still need to watch it. And yeah, so I took it and I knew it, man. I was like, I'm gonna wear this. Like,
I'm gonna ask Mel Lobster something for a second. So Mel Lobster, Jack, you what you call it? So in the UK, since the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out, right?
yeah.
Has it made Queen, like what kind of resurgence has it been in the UK for Queen since the movie came out? Or is it like it not existent? Like people were making it like bigger than what it is because they're on tour and stuff. Of course, they still been. But I heard stories like there's a lot more like shops now that have their stuff and like their music's always being played in like a lot of commercials now in the UK.
If I'm being truthfully honest, it's definitely. I mean, Queen have always been a very popular band over here. Like
Yeah.
one of the most popular ones.
Oh, what part of the UK are you from?
I'm southeast.
Southeast. Okay.
But
Because they were big in like London area in there.
I'm about I want to say about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from London.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like they've always been popular over here. But when the movie released, they definitely gained they definitely got more people listening to a lot more of their stuff, and people like kind of coming back to them. A lot of merch was sold with their stuff on it. It definitely sparked it up. But I think like when people talk about the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, the biggest topic to come up is how good of a performance Rami Malek did as Freddie Mercury, and I completely agree. I absolutely adored his performance in that movie, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, and I thought the movie was fantastic. I still have yet to see Rocket Man with.
I gotta see Rocket Man too. I gotta see it, man. I just never went to fucking watch it.
But no, it definitely it sparked it up. It definitely sparked it up.
I'm always curious. I would love to go to New Zealand. I think it's New Zealand where they have the Queen exhibit, where the museum, where like their recording studio was. When I would live there. I would do a 24-hour challenge there. I would hide from the security. I would just hide in one of the booths. I would do whatever. I that is definitely a place I'm visiting in one day in my life. The Queen Museum, definitely. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm not gonna stop crying. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna start hyperventilating. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're gonna have to calm me down. They're gonna have to give me a fucking adrenaline shot, like a non-adrenaline shot. Oh my god. I don't know.
No, yeah. So you'll see who. This is my other like really.
Nirvana. I was just talking about
band.
Nirvana to my dad on Sunday because Kurt Cobain in his suicide note he mentioned Freddie Mercury in his suicide note. He wrote how he wish he can go on. He wish he wasn't depressed and he can go on stage like Freddie Mercury did, and how like opening and stuff he was.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. The Kurt Cobain and Nirvana and Pink Floyd are like two of my just most favorite bands. So I definitely get it. And I loved Queen. Queen was actually another band in high school that got when I started really getting into music.
Yeah.
And, my friend Ben, when I met him the first year, that was actually the first band, ironically, that we talked about. I'm like, you like Queen? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like you, man. I love music. But yeah.
That's it.
But no, everyone, thanks for coming out to this.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm sorry to cut you off, but thank you so much for having me, guys. Really, thank you so much. Like I said, anytime it's an easy yes. Don't think I'm not gonna say yes, because I'm always down to talk to my man Jack and Kyle. So always happy to be here. You guys got something good going on. A podcast number 23. I want to see you guys get the fucking 223. So let's see that happen.
Long way to go, but well, I
want to see your 100th podcast. I want to watch your 100th.
Truth be told, is that when like I was on a call with Carl the other day, and it still blows our minds the fact that we are booked up until coming up to mid-August.
That's awesome, guys. That's awesome. That is so good.
Blows our minds. Like next week we've got a good guest on. The week after we've got 2 guests on, and then there's a couple of people that I'm going to approach for them coming on. But yeah, it absolutely blows our minds with this.
That's great, guys. Just keep going.
That's actually been the running problem. I keep having these people, and I'm like Jack, I'm gonna ask this guy. I'm asking this guy.
You guys asked me relatively further back. Like you messaged me, Kyle. I think like in June for this.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the timestamp. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Kyle, was that when we were throwing names out? Yeah,
it was definitely after you had already modded me. At that point, I felt like okay, like. I feel pretty safe and thinking or
believing. You messaged me June 2nd.
Wow.
We're July 7th now. That's over a month
ago. That's great, guys. That's great.
Dude, that's bonkers.
Wow. Yeah. That's dang. But ever since it's been like just I've just boom, 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 and Jack's going boom, 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 and we're just like, oh
There you
no, we're just too many people. We gotta slow.
Too
There
many
you
people,
go.
and when we start, and if we continued to do one guest a week, we'd be going into next year by this point.
Oh,
And
shit.
so I just said to Kyle, look, we're gonna have to have more 5-man episodes. And so we had one either last week or the week before. And then we've got one 2 weeks away. So we're definitely gonna get more of those in.
There you go.
But it's just nuts.
Guys, like I said, anytime I'm DM away.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
That's awesome.
and yeah, Turbo. First, I'll let you for the chat that doesn't know who you are. Give your where they can find you.
Go on YouTube, type in Turbo. I am not the snail. I am not the one that makes music. I am the one that looks like a zombie. My name is Turbo. I make funny Call of Duty comedy content. I have a podcast, It Is What It Is podcast. I got merch out, which you can buy, and yeah, pretty much. If you like watching someone that doesn't have it all up here, I'm the guy. So that's who I am.
For the record, guys, Turbo's Twitter and channel are linked down below. So
Yeah.
you don't have to search him up. Just click on the link and it'll take you right there. And be sure,
There you
so go drop him a sub, go drop him a follow. Show this man some love because we really appreciate having him on the show today.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely. Yeah. So everyone, thanks for coming out to episode 23 with Turbo. Thanks to Jack, my co-host, for at least 1 week, and my other co-host Spike, who unfortunately
Spike.
Technical difficulties.
So yeah, thanks for everyone coming out. Thank you Turbo, man. It's been a great episode.
Not a problem. Love you all.
Every guest episode has been great. Every episode period has been great. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up there. Peace out, guys. We love you. Come back next week. It's gonna be a great one.
Stay